have a bad case of diarrhea. I have a bad case of diarrhea. Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
But you know, party.
Making pancakes. Making pancakes.
Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and this is The Real, episode 257 of GG's The Mouthful Podcast.
Of that show that is called the GG the Mouthful Podcast. GG.
That voice, of course, is Mr. David Santos, aka Dream Twister. What, sir, is up?
I have to repeat things, to remember them. I need to repeat things to remember them.
Yeah.
So that's why I say the name of the show completely,
Hmm.
and I remember what show I'm doing, which is
That
the only
works.
show that we do.
I know.
I still don't remember.
It still catches us off guard for some reason. I'm not even sure why.
Yeah, well, it's old age.
I know.
It's that time.
I
It's
know.
that time. I am happy,
It is.
bro. I am fired up. You know why? Because the cold is back.
It is back, man.
Yeah.
Florida's got a nice little chill going. I can't speak for all of Florida. Who knows? Miami may still be fucking hot for all we know.
No,
but-
yeah, of course. It's
yeah.
it's just Central Florida,
Yeah.
the this part, and it's not. I don't mean like super cold or anything like that. I just mean like because we're reaching, or we're already in spring, right? So I
think so.
kind of miss when the nice 60 degrees, 50 degrees, if heaven allows it 40 maybe. I like that weather. I don't mind as a Floridian, mind you. A lot of people do not. You don't. You are not a fan.
No, that's why I left New York, bro. I said no.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Fuck- Screw
I-
this
I-
cold weather. It's not meant for me. I am a tropical person. At least I like to think so.
I hear you. I hear you. And my
okay.
wife is the same. My wife does not like the cold weather at all. She thinks this like 55 degree weather that we're having right now is gonna
It is
prevent her
52
from
right now. Yeah.
52. There you go. So she's thinking that that means that tomorrow I won't be able to do like the garden stuff I need to do. I'm like, honey, we're not having 3 inches of snow or anything like that.
Dear Lord.
It's just a bit nippy. It's not gonna
I
be.
know. During the day, it's usually fine. For the
Yeah,
record.
exactly. During the day,
you know,
it's
it's all right.
perfect weather to mow the lawn. And,
For
and
sure.
do
I mean,
stuff,
of all the days of the year, this is the year you want to be mowing lawn. For the record.
Yes,
When
exactly,
it has it.
exactly.
Otherwise, the rest of the time, you're in danger of passing out. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because
yes. You are in danger of dehydrating.
heat exhaustion is just right around the corner, and you never know.
Yes.
You never
So,
know.
I remember I made the terrible mistake. This was a really hot. The weather was really really hot outside, and I was doing some yard work, right? And as hydrating. Actually, I was supposed. You're supposed to drink water, obviously, but I wasn't doing that. I had some beer that I think you might have left actually, or something.
Oh, you're welcome.
That it was like a 9% or something
no,
crazy like that.
that's not good.
And I was just gulping that down because it was so refreshing. It felt so good. And I did this well, not very early in the morning. It must have been like 11 or something like that. But I hadn't eaten anything yet.
Ooh, that's a bad mix, my friend.
That was a very bad idea. That was a very bad. It was like having that with no filter, bro. It was. It
Nice.
hit me in a way that I had to. I had to stop. I had to go to the shed. I had to lie down, like on my back in the garage. My wife was worried. She's like, "Honey,
That
you
is,
okay? You okay?" I'm like, "I just need a moment. I just need a moment." And she was thinking that maybe it was like the heat or something. I'm like, "No." It's like,
I mean, it's a combination of. I mean, first off, there is when you're hanging out. Like you have to be careful in Florida, in the humidity, in the heat, drinking. It's much more. It hits you way harder because you're already dehydrating from the heat, and now you're dehydrating internally from drinking. You know what I mean? So it just it's like a double hit, and then you throw on top of that you had a 9% beer on an empty stomach. You know, it's like,
Several
whoa.
actually.
Yeah.
I must
Oh
have
my
been like
God,
on my
really?
third or something. Yeah, it was I was stupid, but it was flavorful, and it was like if they felt that because it was so hot, but I hadn't eaten anything, and that's what messed me up,
Yeah.
like completely messed me up.
Yeah. I can agree that happens, but yeah, I mean we don't have to worry about that. I think on Thursday it's already going to be going back up to 90, so we're all right.
Boo, boo,
It'll all
90.
be everything will all be right again soon in Florida.
I have to wear deodorant again. Damn.
Dear Lord, okay. Sir, I wanted to say that we are on our way to get vaccinated soon, sir.
Oh,
My
it's
wife,
happening?
yeah, my wife has an appointment on Tuesday, and so does my son on Tuesday. I have to, unfortunately, on Tuesday and Wednesday this week, I have to work and cannot miss the time. So,
Mm.
so I will. We're doing it at Publix, which, by the way, anybody in Florida, there's ways of essentially, signing up, and anybody can sign up at this point. I think, yeah, I think after Easter, which is this
Yeah.
Sunday, and they're not taking anything between now and then anyway. So anything you sign up for is 18 and over.
Okay.
So everybody can pretty much jump on. Publix is doing it. You have to get up ridiculously early to log in and get it. It's very
Oh,
similar.
to get. Oh no,
Yeah,
it's like
very
signing up for Obamacare again.
I don't know about that. I was gonna say I was comparing it to being in a queue for PlayStation for PlayStation 5. I was like, oh my god, is this really how we're doing this?
Oh, that's okay. I did try to sign up, and it was weird because I was trying to do on CVS, right?
Mhm.
And CVS Pharmacy was offering it, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'll sign up. I'll put your zip code here. Okay, put my zip code here. All right, we got your appointment set. It's gonna be in Sunrise, Florida, like all the way on the other side of town. It's like, no, I'm not driving all the way. You mean to tell me that's the closest location? Let me refresh again. Oops. There's no slots available anywhere,
That quick it went, yeah. It went that quick.
Tras de que te pones a escoger, cabrón. You have to, we're giving you a slot here. You gotta get picky then.
Yeah, don't take nothing. Then you
Take
you know
nothing,
what?
exactly.
Accept COVID as your friend. That's what you need to
Yeah,
do.
yeah. No,
That's
no,
hilarious.
no. Yeah. So I didn't do it. I figured,
Well, if you do the Publix one, it goes by county, and you'll see the list of counties.
okay.
And so you can pick Seminole County and stuff like that. Now, the funny thing is, it opens at like 7 a.m. You have to do it on Mondays
Mhm.
for setting up anything from Thursday and Friday, or Fridays for setting up for the following Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. So
Okay.
it's very odd. And if you set up, there's those are for the Moderna one, which is the 2-shot ones. If you do if you want the 1-shot one, then you have to go call on a Wednesday, and they do those on the weekend only.
So you have to. They give you options then.
Yeah, they have the two, the 1-shot, which is the Johnson & Johnson one, and the
Mhm.
Moderna, which is the 2-shot one. We're gonna do the Moderna one. I
That
just
sounds
feel
weird. That sounds like almost like that has me a little worried. It's almost like I'm
this whole
opening
thing has me worried. I'm not even gonna lie.
it's almost like I'm opening a loot box. It's like, well, let me go with this one. Let's see.
Yeah, exactly.
And the one that says, "Oh, this was the 1-shot. This is the epic one." And it's like, you don't know that.
Yeah, yeah, it's the whole deal. I mean, let's be real. If we're really gonna talk like serious about it, it's not like a overall cure or anything like that. I think the main
No.
purpose of it is to lessen its impact. You know what I mean?
Right,
So it's
right.
like, so that's really what I'm hoping for.
Yeah,
But I'm
absolutely.
really more concerned about my wife, and then of course my mother-in-law who's living with us. So
Yeah.
it's really cool, and I'm kind of excited about it because I feel like it's kind of that first step to finally coming out of this pandemic that has been, we are over a year at this point of being in
And yet
quarantine. You know
people
what I mean?
can't
Yeah.
wait to go back to being idiots again and
I
being
mean,
like all together
sure, yeah.
summer, spring
Yeah.
break and stuff like that. It's like, come on, people, we're just hanging there for a little bit longer. We're almost out, but don't do the stupid thing that got us back in the first place, or in the second time around.
Yeah. And the third time around, because
And
now
the
we're
third-
looking at a fourth
Yes.
flight coming soon. So
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
come on, just. Oh.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
it's
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to getting vaccinated. Just promise me something, bro.
Yeah.
Don't do the thing that. Don't do the thing. Just don't do the thing.
okay. I won't do the thing.
Yeah. It's kind of I don't know, where when they take the picture of the selfie with the thing with the sticker, or not with the sticker, but with the card, and the card has like all their fucking information, and they're
Yes,
just
why are
posting
they
it
doing
online.
that?
It's like,
I'm like, I
come
can see
on.
taking a picture of the Band-Aid. You know, that's sufficient. You know what I mean?
You know?
Why would you put all your details out there? I'm like, okay.
And again, there's some people that they have been smart. They say, "Oh, I'm covering the stuff with my thumb." There's only a series of numbers that you don't even know what those numbers are actually, and for all you know, it could actually be giving away potential information for people that that can gather information from different places and put up a profile. So it's just, just put a status report, fully, just vaccinated. Do a checkout, do a check-in, a check-in.
Exactly. It's gonna go that route. Yeah.
Exactly.
Leave the images off, or
Yeah,
or,
not necessarily. I mean, I understand you're excited. If you're gonna do it, just make sure you're covering your fucking information, because it's been a couple times already. I got family members that, you know what? You might want to cover the fact that you have your full address there and your date of birth and all that.
and your social. I mean,
The internet doesn't need to know that, all right? Even though they probably do anyway, but you don't need to make it easier.
But don't make it, I was gonna say, don't make it easy for them either. Jeez.
Oh,
for sure.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm kind of excited for it, but we'll see. Hopefully by next week we can get the ball rolling on that, because we still have to wait 4 weeks for the second one. So.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I mean, you want to travel again, right? You better get
Exactly.
that.
It is what it is. Yeah, we got to do it. We got to do it, guys. We got to do it. Everybody has to do it. We got to do it.
And we got to do the show, man. So what is it that we do here? I don't even know. Can you remind me, sir, of what is it? I'm old. I'm missing. I'm losing my. Who am I? What am I doing here? What is it that we do in this show?
The most awesome segue I've ever heard, sir. Guys, if this is your first time tuning in, I appreciate you. If you can get a chance, go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. It takes you right to our Facebook group. And of course, please like, subscribe, share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do, guys, on the show is first we go into what we have been up to, move on into some various news items, and then we finally finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic: how important is game preservation? And from recent reports, a couple of a couple of just digital game stores are going to be closing down.
Yeah.
And it kind of brought to light the fact that there are many games that are only available there that are not going to be available after this at all in any form, whatever, outside of, any, pirating. So we're just going to talk about, well, first off, what, the particular news story probably at that point, and kind of go into what this means, and what, ideas of what we can do to possibly restore or keep some of these games going. Sure, there's certain games that maybe don't need saving, Flappy Bird, stuff like that. I get it.
All game needs to be Flappy Birds. I'll have you know, sir. No. We want to try to preserve everything, especially now that, I mean, we have been. I feel like this is the console generation in particular that has touted the idea, that idea of digital only. We got digital only versions of the console, and we're in a transition almost. So, who is to say that the PlayStation 6 and the Xbox Mama Juana, or whatever the hell they end up calling it, doesn't just become a digital only box, for the benefit. So,
sure.
so yeah, we'll see.
We shall see. All right, sir. I think it's time to go into what we have been up to. What, sir, have you been doing?
Speaking of games,
here's a shocker.
The Yin Yang Master.
Whoa.
That is the best Chinese RPG that I have played
Whoa.
probably since Final Fantasy. All right, all right. It has. I tell you, bro, it has really good graphics, and good amount of combat, and the summons look incredible. All right. Also, it's the first game that you don't need a controller to play.
Oh, okay, that explains why I'm not. I'm like looking. I'm like, I'm only seeing.
You just,
okay.
yeah, you just sit there and you watch all the way to the credits roll.
Oh my God. The only control you have is pausing.
You're pausing.
Maybe.
Exactly. Pee break. Because it's a 2 hour. It's a 2 hour. Okay, it's not a video game. It's an actual movie that came out. This movie came out in the Chinese New Year, February 12th of 2021. And then Netflix acquired the streaming rights, releasing this film on March 19 of this year. The movie, and yes, it is a movie. Although when you're watching it, it almost makes you wonder if this wouldn't have made a fantastic, Chinese RPG just because of the visuals and everything. The movie tells a story of a Yin Yang master, Qin Ming,
Okay.
who is an officer of the Yin Yang Bureau guarding demon souls of the
Ooh.
game.
Oh.
And a supernatural artifact called the Scale Stone. After he is blamed for the death of his guard teams and his senior, he goes about to start a new life between the human and the demon world. In the movie, he's haunted by a character named Boya who resents the fact that
Oh, I think.
Qin Ming.
We just lost you there for a second, Sarah. It went offline for a quick second.
Oh,
You,
where did I live?
Demon World.
Demon World. Shit, where was that? Oh yeah, no. So I was saying that in the movie, there's a character named Boya who resents the fact that Qin Ming is actually a half human and half demon entity. And no, it's not a spoiler. This is actually explained.
Okay.
Of course, there's an ancient malevolent serpent demon threatening the world and to destroy the lands. And it is up to Qin Ming and Yuan Boya to set aside their differences to try to vanquish this demonic threat as conspiracy looms. I tried to put it up a little bit on a description of it. So let me tell you the things I liked about the movie, because I actually found that it has a very interesting story. The movie itself is in Chinese.
Okay.
And I saw it in Chinese, obviously with English subtitles. Though there is English audio. I had to check before I actually started because I was like, did I remember seeing that option? And yes, it is there. Despite the imagery, when you look at, I was gonna say screenshots. So when you look at some of the pictures, it kind of reminding you of more mature movies of that type. This movie is pretty much PG-13, I would say.
Okay. So I have a quick question, because
Yeah.
I'm floating in Netflix and I see two. One of them just says Yin Yang Master. The other one says Yin Yang Master Dream of Eternity. I assume it's the first one, right?
I'm talking about Yin Yang Master.
Okay, so that's the
Yeah.
first one. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So the movie is not particularly like, it's not like explicit in violence or anything like that. It has some very cool fight scenes and stuff, but that's not the main focus. I would say that the movies it's more action adventure fantasy RPG than the martial art powerhouse that we have seen. That you probably could give some examples. I was very pleased with it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. The movie is in Chinese, like I said, but it's easy to follow. It has some great acting and it has some really cool moments that I'm not gonna ruin. Uh, it plays a lot with the idea of of familiars, which I guess is the politically correct term for what they're actually are known as in their culture, which are demons, basically.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, though I guess demons it's a strong word, I guess, or whatever, because they're not all evil. You know,
Hmm.
they're not meant to be like evil beings, although they are evil beings, also called demons in this world. Which are the things that through I don't know whatever means you either capture or have, or basically they are sworn to protect you once you have them.
Okay.
So you kind of exert control over them. You know, like Persona or whatever. Actually, not too far from that. You know,
Really? Okay. Oh,
not
yeah.
too far from that idea. Yeah, that's the idea of the familiars. Another game that played a lot with the idea of familiars was, oh my god, what was the name of that? That cute RPG that came out that had beautiful graphics. That was kind of like Pokemon-ish in nature. I will
Don't know.
argue Pokemon are familiar. I'm gonna remember later on that the sequel came out, and then the sequel had the president of the United States was literally a the main character of that game, and you're like, what? Remember that we talked about that? It was like a very
Sounds
fantastical
familiar.
world.
Yeah, sounds familiar, but no, I don't
Yeah,
know the name.
sounds familiar.
Yeah.
No.
Wink, wink.
so so those basically are the things that I liked about the movie. Now the things I didn't like that much, the bad. Let's talk about the bad.
Hmm.
So most of the visuals look great. Uh, if you have a Mr. Martin level of nitpickiness when it comes to visuals, you will. That's actually a that's there's no offense intended. How do you
No.
say
How can one
no?
take an offense from saying his
That's
nitpickiness?
actually a compliment. You know, you have a keen eye for these things. What I'm trying to say. You know,
Okay. Okay.
I'm old. I don't know how to express myself.
I'm joking. Yeah,
If you have another level of nitpickiness when it comes to the visuals, you will notice some of the monsters that appear and some of the animation might not be up to par with the rest of the movie. I mean, it has the movie has a decent amount of production value, I will say, but I mean, it still had a budget, if you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Which they normally do. I mean, it is what it is. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
Netflix will throw money at stuff, but doesn't mean he's gonna
Yeah.
just
Well, that's the
bankrupt
interesting
people.
thing. This is not a movie made by Netflix or anything.
Oh,
Netflix
that's
just
right. That's right.
acquired.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
they
You
acquired
did say that.
the streaming rights. Yeah, because this
Gotcha.
movie is a theater release in China. Because it's weird because the other one that you mentioned is also very close in the year that was released.
Okay.
And then there's the ugly, which I will say is that the subtitles on this movie are ridiculously fast.
Oh
so,
god.
so I'm gonna recommend you watch it, but don't try to read as they talk. You know, just scan the words. Whatever you mind grab, just keep it and try to piece it together
Piece
later
together
on
from
the
what you're
next scene.
seeing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Just
That's hilarious.
don't try to read it because some of them is like, oh, what. But see, I didn't have a problem, you know, with this movie. Even with that, like I said, it was easy enough to follow. Where even the stuff I missed, I don't think it was like crucial. Maybe if I watch it again, I might capture something that might have escaped. But like I was very satisfied.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm looking at the trailer. And yeah, it looks pretty fantastical. I like
it
it.
looks for yeah yeah. I think it's a jam. I think you'll enjoy it. Even though I made a jokingly talking about it being a game, but this particular movie is actually an adaptation of a very successful card game
Oh,
called Omnioni. I
nailed
don't
it.
know how to pronounce it. There you go. Thank you. From NetEase, um, which itself is based on Omnioni. I'm going to say it again by a series of novels called Omnioni by
Ooh,
author.
you 3 for 3. All right.
Oh, well, here's the name of the author. So ready? Baku Yume Makura. There you go. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yes. I really like this movie, sir. I thought it was very enjoyable. I thought it gave me it had everything. It was it was charming. It was intriguing. The combat scenes were great. Like I said, not the main focus. Not trying to make it the main focus, but uh, really enjoyable. I give it a 4 out of 5 on our
Nice.
scale.
Okay. Okay.
This is the type of movie you watch it. You probably score a little bit lower because you have higher standards. Frick.
Dear Lord.
and but I think you will still enjoy it very much, very much.
Okay. I've added it to the list of
Awesome.
thousands that I have in wait.
put it in the queue there somewhere because it is an enjoyable movie. It's like a 2 hour movie almost, or an hour and 53 minutes, something like that.
Yeah. Standard length. Okay.
Yeah. The other game that I played was the Yin Yang Master Dream of Eternity.
The follow up to Yin Yang Master. Nice. Nice.
And what can I say? It is the best RPG I've played probably since Final Fantasy. It has really good graphics. It's a good amount of combats, and the summons look incredible.
Dear Lord. So they released these both, right? I'm looking at the
Almost a year apart.
wow.
Yada 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 is another movie that Netflix picked up. It's funny because
2 movies. I'm actually impressed, sir. I'm very impressed. I'm just gonna say.
2 2 hour long movies.
Yeah.
This
That's
one
4 hours. Then you're not gonna get
that's
back. I'm just kidding.
hey, you know what? I did it for the Snyder cut, so I got this one
I know.
and I watched 2 of them.
Nice.
This one I actually discovered this one right at the end of the first one. And I figured this must be a sequel, or a prequel or something. Nope. It is neither, sir.
Oh my God, it's not related at all. It's like Final Fantasy in the sense that the next part has nothing to do with the last part.
Well, let us see. Stop me if you heard this, by the way. But the movie tells you a story of Yin Yang Master Qing Ming. And
Dear Lord,
yada
this is
yada
the- this is the
yada.
Legend of Zelda, isn't it?
Yada yada yada. Boya's in there. Yada yada yada. Evil serpent is threatening the land. Yada yada yada. Conspiracy looms.
Oh my God.
So yes, it's basically the Legend of Zelda. It's
Wow.
basically that. It is. You know what? You freaking nailed it. I think that is a very good way of putting it. So I'm just gonna jump in real quick on the good, the things I like, the things I didn't like, and then the ugly. So the good things. It is almost like either a reimagining or just an alternate universe, or just like you very well described, almost like a Legend of Zelda type ish thing. Because it has the same character names from the movie, from the first one that I saw. I mean, but their backgrounds are completely different.
Huh.
So it might have Kiming, but Kiming is not doing the same thing. It might have Yuan Boya, but he's not the same person. He's not doing the same thing. So again, interesting story, though I didn't find it as enjoyable as the first one that I saw. Like I thought the first one was a little bit more fun.
Okay.
Even though I believe this is the first one, actually. This is the first one that they made, because this is the one from 2020, and
Mhm.
then the Yin Yang Master is 2021 to make things more confusing.
Yeah, I was gonna say usually add a colon and an additional name when it's the new one.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, okay.
yeah.
So they're
This one
doing
they
the
just
Xbox things with names. Okay, I got you.
yeah. There you go. Exactly. They're doing it. No, not the Xbox thing, because otherwise this would be called the Yin Yang 720 XXL PowerPoint. No, anyway. Um, so yeah, I would say that this one's also very PG-13 as well. Again, the combat it's the combat is great, but not the focus. Uh, this one in particular is a little bit more dramatic. I would say it's a little bit more drama
Okay.
than even the action adventure, but it's still very worth the watch. I
Okay.
would say the 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 baddies the movie was this one in particular was a little bit harder to follow for me for some reason.
Hmm.
Um,
So it
and
was like
maybe
Majora's Mask. Okay. Okay.
this was the Majora's Mask of it. Yes, probably. Yeah.
You realize we can always use a game as a reference to this. I
Well,
mean,
it's.
that,
I mean,
that
this
might as well
movie
be.
might as well be games. Let's
Yeah,
face.
yeah, yeah.
Let's be real. Oh, when you look at that card game,
Uh,
first of all, it reminded me of the the what's that Activision one? God damn it. Uh,
Hearthstone.
Hearthstone and the Witcher one
Gwent. Yeah.
also, and Gwen, and it's basically that type. It's like a mobile game, but you see the artwork, and then you see the artwork in the movie. It's like, oh shit! At least you gotta give them credit. They fucking nailed it.
Okay.
This looks like almost a par with what the movie ended up showing. Again, more to the fact that the movie might as well be a game at this point. So, um, I don't know if maybe it was because I was trying to. I was when I started watching it. I started watching it thinking it was going to be a sequel. I didn't know anything of it. I just saw names were thrown. It's like, oh, wait a minute, that's Kim Ming, but he looks different. Also, isn't this supposed to be like in the past, or is it in the future, or what's going on? Maybe it's a prequel, or I don't know. Maybe it's another Kim Ming. Maybe Kim Ming is like Rodriguez,
Yeah.
in Chinese. It's like a common, last name or first name, or I don't know. I don't know. Jose. Um. So maybe it was because I was trying to see where this movie kind of like landed
Mhm.
in that, or maybe because this one was a little bit more plot heavy and serious than the first one I saw. I don't know. I mean, I definitely enjoyed it, but not as much as the first one. I would say, you
Okay.
know. And then on the ugly side of things, this movie refers to the magical summon beings by the very inappropriate term of demons, and I'm offended by that. Now, the established politically correct term is familiars. Thank you very much.
I
Thing that
agree.
has been already discussed. No, it was another thing that it kind of threw me off a little bit. That it's like, oh, familiar, oh, demon, oh, wait a minute, I think it's the same thing at the end of it,
Wow.
um, or maybe,
Or is it?
or is it? Yeah. So, and the last thing I would say, and this is about both movies, is that they have the ultra stereotypical Sephiroth level villains, where you
Ah,
see
yes.
them, and at the end you're like, oh, oh, okay, yep. Where's the controller? Where's the controller? So I need to kill this guy. It's like it's like, yep, no. like my wife will be like, wow, that was incredible the way they killed. I'm like, honey, no, we still haven't seen his final form. There's no point. It's hanging there.
You're not ready for this, honey. You're not ready.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Final score on this movie. The Yin Yang Master Dream of Eternity, not to be confused with its sequel, The Yin Yang Master. Nothing else, no colon. This one's a 3 out of 5. This one is
Okay.
it's good. It's good. It definitely deserved watching it. If only because once you watch the first one and you see like the mythos and everything, you can't help but be interested or gain some interest on what else what else about this fantastical world. And the acting is great. I gotta give it on both movies. The acting was, was good. Not that I am like the ultimate judge of Chinese acting,
Yeah.
but it was, very convincing. And some of the things, yeah, again, silliness was silliness. Some of the animations, some of the monsters and stuff like that. But it didn't bother me. Honestly, it didn't bother me.
Nice.
Those are the games that I played. And that is no, actually, I played Injustice God Among Us.
The first one.
Oh, wait, actually, no, my bad. That wasn't the game. I just read the entire year one comics of
Nice.
Injustice.
Did you do digital?
I did digital, yes, sir.
Nice.
I did digital.
Nice. Isn't that cool? It's a cool way of actually looking at it.
It is amazing. It is
Yeah,
amazing. It is. I mean, nothing to take away from comics and comic collectors, but
Oh, for sure.
I'm not a collector. I'm not gonna collect. I'm not gonna have books on it. I'm not gonna give it the proper treatment, or I'm gonna I'll try to look for this company, because this is what it was, right? The year one would have been, they would have sold it to you as a book, right?
Yeah,
That's
it
what
was
it,
a
yeah.
trade back. Yeah.
It was yeah. So I probably wouldn't be following that. So I was just too curious about it. I saw remember last podcast when we were talking about the Flash, and you told me about what's the name of that? Flashpoint, was it?
Flashpoint. Mm-hmm.
Flashpoint? Yeah.
Flashpoint
So,
Paradox. Yeah.
yes, Flashpoint Paradox. Yeah. So I grabbed that too, and I'm gonna give it a read
Nice.
to that.
Okay.
And
So I'm like ridiculously proud right now. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm like, he's getting some comics. He's getting his comic on. You know, what I mean?
I am earning my geek cred.
Your geek cred, yes.
Yes.
You've easily gone plus 50 just in the
only-
week.
It almost took me 45 years.
I mean,
Like,
hey man, it's not how long it takes to get there. It's just getting there. You know what I
It
mean?
is exactly.
about the journey.
I 100%. I agree. I am very happy because I had a blast going through it. I also intend to get the Court of Owls, because you told me that is like
Oh,
legendary. I need to. I absolutely. I want to continue with year 2 and year 3. I thought it is definitely like the game doesn't necessarily follow the comic to the T or anything like that, but the premise is basically the same. It's just that I love that in the comics, it's like no one has to worry about, well, we don't want to tarnish the image of this hero, so, or we don't want to kill this hero, or we don't want to do this to this hero because, then we can't market it, like in the movies. Like,
Mhm.
that's one of the things of the movies that I'm always like, oh, well, they're very likely we're not gonna have an evil Superman. If we do, it's gonna be Burn Bright, that other movie that.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that movie, by the way?
No, I haven't yet. I don't know what it is. I just haven't. Like, it's still, of course, on the list.
I know what it is. It's just I'm like, oh man, that the level, that movie seems too gory, and I'm not.
It is rated
my
R.
stomach's
Yeah.
not
I
for
mean, I don't
that.
know if it's a hard R with gore like that, but I think.
it seems like it's going that route though. From what I
Okay.
see.
Well,
And-
another one that you should check out, you definitely should check out, is Amazon series The Boys. You definitely.
oh yeah, you
check
told
that
me
out.
about the boys. Yeah.
The Boys is something that is a perfect example. I'm trying to remember the character's name, but he's basically a Superman, a Superman-like character
Mhm.
who is extremely self-centered. You know what I mean? And it's
You can tell.
like the dangers of, man, if Superman were not raised on a farm in Kansas, you just don't know what the hell would happen to him. You know what I mean?
If it was just a freaking creep or
Yeah, it's like,
or
man,
a self-righteous prick, because all you can have those also,
true.
that no, my way is the right way, and fuck what you're thinking, and it's basically what you're seeing on this on this one. But the thing that I like in the comics, what they did on this storytelling is that you almost understand both sides. Actually, I will say you
Mhm.
understand Batman's side with like that's not a route you want to take, but you also understand Superman's side of, well, if we would have actually handled the villains the proper way, they should have handled it. If we would have eliminated them rather than just try to uh like
Rehab,
rehabilitate,
yeah, rehabilitate. Yeah.
then things like this thing that happened would be avoided. That was an apocalyptic catastrophe on this. I guess we can spoil it, right? Because it's been there, right? Spoilers if you don't
Yeah,
want
yeah.
to, if you don't, if you want
It's for a
to,
game.
if you haven't
It's
heard of
for
the
a fighting
Injustice,
game. So
yeah, and
yeah.
it's on the fighting game also. But the freaking Joker destroys Metropolis and kills Lois Lane,
Mhm.
which, mind you, was pregnant at the time with Superman's baby.
Yeah.
So it could not have been more tragic. That level of, like, I'm thinking like, holy fuck, like, you have to understand Superman's rage over this. The guy is hurt. The guy just lost literally everything because he's home and he lost his home again, and he lost the woman that he loved, and the his born child, which would have been another super being, another Kryptonian, if anything. It's like, man, you got to understand where he's coming from, and some of the ideologies that he proposes. I'm like, yeah, man, you know what? I can understand with the world, with the humans being at this level of stupid as they are right now. We kind of need that Iron Fist, We kind of need, to be ruling that way. Maybe Superman has it right, but does it? That's
Yeah.
the thing. The problem is he's taking it to the extreme.
This is the perfect example of when you have an unclear, villain. You don't know.
Mhm.
It seems clear.
It's justified. Like, you
it seems
understand
it
his
should be
justification.
Superman. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when you see it, and that's actually good writing, right? It's good writing where they can deliver his side of the story, and you go, yeah, I guess, yeah, all right, Superman, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? All right, just rule the world. Okay.
Just you
It's
almost
like
want to
it's-
give it to him.
yeah,
You
yeah,
almost
yeah.
want to give him at the same time, you see Batman, and also you see with Superman, you see the logic behind what he's doing, and you almost want to agree, but also you see what the fuck, man, but no, this is not the right way. But you can say the same thing of Batman. With Batman, it's like, in some ways you can understand why he doesn't want it to be, that way. But at the same time, some of his decisions are like, what the fuck, man? Like, come on, no.
It's a question that's been brought up many a times with not to go a tangent on this, but many a times with Batman in general. It's just
Yeah.
like, and that's what I loved about the Nolan Batman, where he in one line he explains, why he does it, and that was in the very first one, Batman Begins. Ra's al Ghul's handing him the swords. He's a criminal. You got to take him out. And he goes, "No, I'm not." He's like, "You can't do this. This man is a murderer, is a criminal, whatever is it." And he basically says, and that's what separates us. You know what I mean? That's what separates me and him. You know what I mean? And it's just like, okay, I get it. I get it. Yeah, it's that one line. You know what I mean? It's like once you cross that line, and it's the truth. The reality is that
Mhm.
that's where the Punisher is, right? once he crossed that line, the
Oh, he
Punisher's
crossed,
like,
oh,
he's
yeah.
done. He is ending everyone he sees.
Yeah.
And while technically, yes, most of them are bad. You know what I mean? There's good.
He doesn't mind collateral damage.
He does not. Yeah. It's just like, it is what it is. You shouldn't have been there. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa.
Well, that's the thing. It's like it's almost the so Spock had it right in Star Trek, the search for Spock, or no, it wasn't the search for the one where he dies. The need of the many, how is the need of the few? So, should we be killing this like mega criminals? That's or just power be because what the fuck do we want to have like Salmon Grundy? Like, what are we doing? And are we gonna rehabilitate him? Like, what the fuck? Killer Croc? Like, what the fuck are we gonna do with Killer Croc? I also like that they actually on the comic stuff kind of they throw a jab to. And you, Batman, you're standing there with villains next to the Riddler and the it's Robin basically talking. He's trying to point at the other criminal, and the other criminal needs to go out. It's like Calendar Man. Like the fuck.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I forgot that guy's name. I don't know what he is.
I don't know whoever you are. What's your
Calendar Man. That guy is funny, man, for real.
Oh man. Anyway, I also been playing Injustice 2 again.
Nice.
And I'm the real game, mind you, the real game.
Yeah, I figured this. Yeah.
That's it. I'm done.
Also, I have to say, before I even go into what I've been doing, I'm like extremely excited. I'm like, this is a week where he watched 2 films and read some comics. I'm just like, what?
Like, and it's crazy. I didn't play any games, bro. I didn't other than Justice. I didn't touch my computer for like shit.
And you feel okay, right? Like life went on. Like, yeah, it was like nothing was missing, right? It's still there. It's not like it's gone. Yeah. I love it. I love it, sir. I love it.
Digital comics. That's the future. Because I have a tablet now. That's why I did that. That's why I was like,
okay, nice. Okay,
yeah.
Those are good because those are nice and. I mean, I've did it on my phone, but those are nice and big for you to see the whole image. That's nice.
Yeah, I love those transitions from.
Yes, it's so well done. It's just like
from panel to panel. It's like they do it very well.
Yeah, there's comics that have been made for digital comics, and they have comics that have been they're older comics that have converted into it. So the converted ones just kind of transition over from panel to panel. The ones that have been made for it are awesome because the images pop. You know what I mean? And it does, yeah. So
does it explode? Because this is what I was wanting to happen, and it never happened. And I was like, when a big explosion happened, does it show the panel like shaking?
No, I don't think.
What a waste of money! They should give me freaking Rumble. That's comics. I'm giving you a free advice here. I mean, take this idea. No charge.
For the record,
put Rumble on that.
None that I have read. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean they don't exist.
They don't exist. Yeah.
But obviously DC hasn't done it, and I haven't seen anything that Marvel did. But there are many comics outside of the two top ones. So you never know. They may actually put something in there. I mean, I don't know if it'll rumble.
They should totally rumble. And those big explosions.
Yeah.
It's like
if there's no sound normally, I just don't know how the rumble is going to add anything. But okay, whatever.
It'll feel weird because it's up.
Yeah. Like, what the hell? Who the hell's paging me? Shit.
Who the hell's calling? I'm in the middle of watching.
That actually makes more sense. I don't know why I said paging. Like I fucking the 90s guy.
You're old,
what
too.
The hell?
We're old, bro.
Yeah, sure are.
Paging me sure the hell
are. All right, so I'm gonna just start with, since we're in the movie section, I guess.
Let's start with movies.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with. I'm gonna go. I saw 3 movies, and I'm gonna go from. I don't say worst and the best, and they're bad, but just from the worst to the best.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with the one I just saw, and that is Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh my God, that was the trashiest one. Oh no, don't, you're breaking my heart. No.
No. When again, I said not that they're bad, just going from that to to the best one. So Godzilla versus Kong. This movie is a park your brain at the door, have fun type of movie. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I did that. I knew that going in, and I enjoyed myself. The
Cool.
fights between Godzilla and Kong are freaking epic. I love watching big monsters fight it out. You know, there's just something, I don't know, naturally fun to see. You know what I mean, when it comes to that. And the story is so overall special effects really, really, really good.
Nice.
I mean, really, some of the when you look at it, you go, "Oh, this really looks and feels like it's." You think about a huge ape and a huge fucking lizard, and items that they'd be grabbing and stuff. You know what I mean? It's just like it looks and feels real. And I'm like, okay, and it really works. The story is serviceable in the sense that obviously you're pitting them together, right? So it's like, you're figuring out reasons to pit them together. You know what I mean? It's very predictable. I mean, really predictable. Like I was literally, honey, this is gonna happen. Watch. This is exactly what's gonna happen, and then it will happen. Yeah, and it's like, and it is what it is. Though it's like I said, I think the movie itself wears the fun factor and what it's really trying to be on its shoulders, and then the in between portions that don't have monsters are just your silly fare, which isn't far from the originals. If you go back to the old Godzillas, you see a lot of silly scientists trying to figure shit out, and it's just like guys, and they never figure it out. That's the whole deal. It's like at the end, they always have to go, let's just let Godzilla do his thing. It's like you can't stop him, dude. It's just like this is what it is, and here is very similar. It is some scenes are a little cringeworthy. Some characters are just like the characters come together and you just go, why are these characters together? This just makes no sense. You know what I mean? You have some familiar faces from the old ones. The last one, which was Godzilla King of Monsters, brings back what is her name? Millie Bobby Brown. Which you would know her as 11, yep. And also brings back her father, Kyle Chandler. And so they're familiar faces from before, and then there's a couple new faces, new people involved. And overall, like I said, you're watching the in-between portions to just kind of fill in why we're going here, what are we doing? And then once you get there and shit hits the fan, you already know. So, okay, well, this is what we came to see. Grab me some popcorn. You know what I mean? That's basically what it is. And so overall, I think I gave it a 3 out of a 5 on our scale.
Good.
It's a good movie. Again, with the expectation, this is not going to be, a thinker of any kind, although I still say, and the funny thing is I still hold the very, very first Godzilla probably higher on our. I don't think I never
That's
gave it a
what
score.
not a lot. Someone else also had that same thought. It's like, hey, I'm glad that everybody is enjoying this movie. I still think the first Godzilla was better.
It was the complaint that a lot of people had in the first Godzilla was there wasn't enough Godzilla, but there was a reason for it. There was this mysticism of him and what he did. You're hearing the whole deal is that the world, there's certain like government agencies that know of its existence, but they don't know what it is. They don't know, it's very, and then out of nowhere, the world gets its first view of it. And when it happens, it's just like, you're seeing it in crowds and you're seeing like the edge of his tooth or his face, like behind a building, but it's because you're being pushed away because the crowd's just running away. Right. Because it's just, and you want to see it, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I want to see it, but it's almost like the thing, like I always feel about, I would love to see a tornado in real life. but at the same time, I don't want to be near it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, 'cause I don't want to be near it just to see it, but I would love to see one. Same exact thing. It's like people would run because that's a normal thing to do if you have a Godzilla, you know. But at
Yeah,
the
I
same
would
time,
say.
you would be in the crowd, you know, and so when that happens, you know, you have your fight, you know what I mean? And I think the problem there is just it's the later half of the film, you know what I mean? But
Mm.
the acting, you have fucking Walter White. I can't think of his real name now, but you have Walter
Oh,
White
wow.
in
Yeah.
it. You have Ken Watanabe in it. You have some
Nice.
really good star power in it that you're like, you're now this is that particular film had the better human portions of the film. While when you get into the later ones, the human portion again now starts to feel more like filler because we really just want to see Godzilla and what the hell does he do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's why I say that the other one's better. But this is still a lot of fun. It's on HBO Max. If you have HBO, there really is no reason to not watch it. It's a lot of fun. You know, it's a good
Nice.
you know blockbuster to watch at home. So
I specifically like, dude, you should have seen you know my dad, and he enjoys those type of movies. He really it's like this movie might as well have been. Remember how excited we were with the with the Star Wars and how disappointed. Not
Yes.
kind of the disappointment,
Yeah.
but how excited the excitement at the beginning,
Mhm.
and it just so happened that he would come with us because he will still like it, also, although he was not as super thrilled as we were. Well, this one you could tell he's so excited. Like he called me.
Oh, dude, you
He
gotta watch
called
it.
me. He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, do you know? Do you know of a way that to watch
Oh,
it?"
yes,
I'm like,
dude, give him your login, bro.
"No,
You
better
can't?
yet,
Oh.
I'm gonna invite him here. We're gonna have a movie night.
Nice.
So I'm gonna have the
nice.
family here because they're visiting.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah.
Benito, shout out to Dark and Chaos. I kind of like left them. I didn't play with them this week, but it was because they were visiting. So, um, they're coming this Saturday, and we're just gonna watch it. And that's the reason why I decided not to watch it now.
Okay.
Before the podcast, because
Oh,
I knew
okay.
it was coming, and I want to see it, but I'm gonna see it with my dad and see if he likes it. He probably will.
Yeah. I think
yeah.
I think again, you're set proper expectations for yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, look, this is a monster movie. It's a big blockbuster. It's meant to be more fun.
Listen, you don't have to worry about me. I liked Rampage, all right? So
There you go. If you like Rampage, you're gonna be fine.
I'm completely cured. Yeah, I can definitely watch this, no problem.
You'll be just fine. Exactly.
Well, what did you think of Rampage again? I kind of forgot what you thought.
I told you I thought it was okay. It was like, all right, this is all right. Again,
Yeah.
The Rock makes a
It's
lot
hard.
of movies better, you know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It could be a really sad movie. You throw The Rock in, and suddenly you have something marketable. You know,
Something
it's like,
marketable,
oh,
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm
The
excited.
second movie I watch is this was actually on my wife's list, and we watched together. And actually, it is really fascinating. At the same time, my God, I don't know how this can be. How can this even be a thing? But it's
No?
called A Suitable Girl, and this is a documentary actually. And what it does, it follows.
I'm already worried.
Yeah, it follows these three young women in India who are struggling with the fact that their place in their world is to get married. One of
Yeah.
them is trying
A lot of
to
women
court
on that.
a woman. Yeah. There's one of them. So there's three of them. One of them's trying to court a man, and she's a little bit more heavy set. And I can't believe they would even say this, but they have these almost like they're not auctions, but it almost feels like auction. Like they'd go to this place, and there's this guy, and then because he's there to looking for a wife, and he's there, and he stands up, and he's whatever, and then the guy says, "This is
That has a proper name than auctions, but I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I hope that we haven't offended anybody because we're ignorant. We don't.
Correct, exactly. I'm not trying. But it kind of looks like it because it's saying, "Hey, this is him. This is his name. This is where he lives, and this is how much money he makes." You're like,
the range.
Whoa, okay. And so usually they tend to be older, and so there's that. There's these dating apps, but the dating apps are really, hey, I want to get married app. You know what I mean? It's just like it is for obviously for someone who's not a part of that culture, it is really jarring. It's like, oh my god, I just can't believe it. One of the so there's three girls, right? One, like I said, she's desperate to get married. Her parents are desperate to get married, even though the moment she does, guess what? She's out of their life. She becomes part of his life and his world. And you know, not that they can't visit, but that's what happens. Wherever he is where she goes.
Yeah.
So it's that weird dichotomy where it's just like, at some point, I'm like, oh my God, why would you want this? And then when you start seeing things happen, you go, oh, I'm so happy for her. You know, but at the same time, you go,
Uncle seems worth okay.
yeah, it's like I don't know if I should be, but I don't care, whatever. She's happy, right? And so there's a few. Again, it kind of revolves around three girls, and it's a really cool thing to watch. I definitely just if you're curious about, I'm so curious about the world. You know what I mean? That I love watching shit like this. But it also kind of opens your eyes as to what's going on, you know, in other parts of the world. How do they handle these things? And you know, this was a big thing back in the day. Is that still a thing? Well, it is still a thing.
It is still
It's
a thing.
expected that,
Day,
you know, and not only that, it's like pushed, right? Like you know, one who wants to go to school and whatever, and their parents are pushing her. It's like, no, you got to get married. You got to get married. Time's wasting, you know, and all this stuff. And she's like, dear Lord, just let her go to school. You know, so what the hell? But anyway, it's called The Suitable Girl. We saw it on Prime. Yeah, it was on Prime. And it's actually Prime. Like you don't have to pay for anything like that. But
okay.
It is
Prime.
Yeah. And so it's good stuff. Okay, sorry.
You put this movie over Godzilla, so I have to imagine that it's definitely it needs to be a watch then.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it's a documentary. It is so it's not like, you know, but it really, really paints an interesting portrait of what goes on and some of the pitfalls that can happen. You know what I mean? Again, particularly the fact that once this happens, that girl is gone. You know, she's and if she goes to another family that's a big family and they say she can't come back to visit, guess what? She's not coming back to visit. You may never see her again. You know what I mean? That's just an acceptance that has to be in that particular world. And it's like, dear Lord, you know, just you know, you have women who are like have MBAs and stuff like that, and suddenly because they're going into marriage, they're having to be trained how to cook, how to do this because that's expected. You know what I mean? That you'll be able to provide for your husband. And not that I'm positive there are people who want that and are more than interested. Like I said, there's one particular character can't wait to do that. There's one girl, but you have others who are completely trying to go against the current, and eventually just well, there's not much you can do, right? That's just what's expected.
I mean, at that point, sometimes you're abandoned by your family, even in some cases.
True, very
true. Thing.
Yeah. So anyway, Suitable Girl, really cool. The last one that I saw, and this is by far one of my now favorite films that I want to own. It is a movie from director Wong Kar-wai, which I've seen a lot of his films. He's a Chinese director, and it is called In the Mood for Love. And this is actually a love story. But it's a different kind of love story.
I was hoping for a Romeo Must Die level of something, because you say you want to own it, and then you were like, the titles are like, so what happened here?
So what this is, there is now another beautiful part about this movie. This take place in the 60s in China, and it kind of gives you again like a window into this world that is foreign to us. You know what I mean? There's this two married couples who move into a building, and it's move into an apartment, really is what it is. So it's a large apartment in China, and in Hong Kong actually is where it's at. And they're basically renting rooms. And it turns out that the two main characters, which is Tony Leung and Maggie Chung, right? They're not the married couple. They're married to someone else. But their partners are having an affair with each other. And
Oh
That's
wow.
yeah, yeah. And so and you tell something you never really see them, but and so now it's how they deal with it and what they do to it's almost like they're trying to understand why their partner would want to do this, and then little by little you can tell that by them spending time together, it's
Yes.
it's becoming something's budding there, but they're also very very proper and don't want what I mean. It's just
Yeah.
like it's absolutely beautiful.
Well, they're still married, no?
They're still married, yeah,
They're
still married to the
yeah.
other people, and they sort of kind of discuss how will they say anything, will they say anything, should they
Mhm.
just forget about it, and then again time passes and you can see that there's something there, but it's just an absolutely beautifully shot film, dude. I mean, by far
Beautiful shot. Oh.
this is by far like a cinephile's dream. Because you can see all the wonderful shots and the way they're done and the color and the way it's portrayed. It's just like this guy just wants to make a gorgeous film, and then on top of that, he picks two extremely good-looking actors in both Tony Leung and Maggie Chung, where it's just like, dear Lord, guys, just do it and get it over with.
Oh, see, that's why he fucked up, because I mean, who would want to cheat on them then if they're extremely good looking?
I mean, it makes you wonder, but then again,
It makes you wonder.
it does make me wonder, that's for sure. Anyway, In the Mood for Love, I actually started looking up how I can find like an ultra Blu-ray set. I was like, I need this in my life.
Fuck this! I don't want it digital.
I know, no.
Unless you're reasoning for the Blu-ray, so that you can pass me the digital version.
Well,
I can bum it out of you like I do with all the movies that you buy.
I mean, I'm more than happy to do that if that always.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Also, I realize how horrible of a human being that makes me.
No,
sound.
not at all.
Pushing out of your movies.
You really, to be fair, you have first dibs on this, even at all times. So it's the truth.
Thank you.
But I was looking at online. They have the Criterion Collection, which is like his top 8 films. Wong Kar-wai. And one of them is.
I was going to ask you that if this was a talent that we already an established talent, or if
the director. Oh yeah, absolutely. He is just really, really. He loves to do these weird, really atmospheric, really these films where the characters just, I don't know, but he also paints such a beautiful picture of like Hong Kong and or China, depending on where it's at. And it's just like, oh man, it's so good. I've seen only a few of them. This one has been on my list for a long time, and I'm like really pissed that I'm just getting around. It's like,
and your wife, actually, if it wasn't for your wife, you probably wouldn't have seen it yet.
I mean, well, no, this was my choice.
Oh, this was your choice.
Choice,
okay. The previous one was.
The other one was hers, yeah, and which was an excellent one too, for the record. But this one here is just, it's so good. It has like the choice of music. It has Quizás the song, but it's sung by oh my god, what is his name? Hold on. I can't believe I can't remember his name right now. I should know.
Not sure our audience will know.
Yeah, that's true. But anyway, it's a very familiar song. But it's the choice of music, the choice of how he does things. To be fair, so it's, I don't know. I was gonna say a critique, but I'm like, no, that's not even a critique. It's meant to. It's beautifully shot. Like I said, what scenes in the rain, scenes in the night. It just, I don't know, bro. This guy just nails it when he comes to doing these films. So I was looking at $200 for the Criterion Collection, his Criterion Collection, which is like 8 or 10 films, and I'm like, that's so worth it. You know what I mean? But I haven't got it.
For a cinephile like you, yeah, I would say that's probably not. I mean, you're getting 10 movies almost, or 8 or 10 movies.
It's
man, go for it. No judgment.
It might be worth just for this film, but yeah. So anyway, so
wow.
I know
that movie alone, $200, and shit. I'm gonna have to put this. I'm gonna have to expedite this on my list and put it on top. Thank you. And I was gonna ask. So, what's the language? Is it also subtitle or is it? Huh?
It's in Chinese.
It's in Chinese. Okay.
Mhm.
All
It's
right.
in it's in Chinese. It is yeah.
Okay.
And I saw it on where was it? I think it's also on, it's actually on HBO Max. Believe it or
On
not,
HBO
it's
Max?
on HBO
Okay.
Max. Yeah.
Are
Um,
also the subtitles ridiculously fast?
well, here's the deal: the movie has less talking than you would think. It's really
Okay.
about what you're watching. It's
Mm.
all a visual feast. You can see in the face, in the actions of what's happening, and when you kind of just put together, their feelings for each other, and you're kind of left with. Well, I won't say. I don't want to spoil anything, but you're kind of
No,
left
no,
with.
no.
You're not entirely sure what is like their imagination desire or what is
Mhm.
actually happening. You know what I mean? Is
Yeah.
that and
If
it's
if
one of
it's
those type of films.
legitimate or if it could be just fueled by, well, the pain that they're both suffering. I
Correct.
mean,
Exactly.
shared
Exactly.
pain. It's yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, I won't say anything else because but it's really well shot. And oh god, dude, it's such a gorgeous movie. But anyway, moving on. In the Movie Love, probably one of the best films I've seen in a very long time, and so happy I did, and will be obtaining it somehow. I might just watch it again HBO Max
It
for a little
is
while
re
while it's free.
it is rewatchable. I didn't hear no score, sir, so that's why
Oh,
I just
this
hate
one
it.
here. See,
So
I feel
you're
like
willing to spend
I
$200
know.
on it? Just go ahead and say it.
I know. I
Don't be
just feel
so
like
precious with your 5 out of 5
I feel like I'm
because
leaping,
something
but yeah.
needs to get it. All
Okay.
right,
Well, all right.
don't
So
be hard-headed.
we're gonna give this one. I'm gonna give this one. I should say because this is my personal one. But I'm gonna give this one a 5. I'm gonna give this one a
There
5 out of
you
5.
go.
And I really, really, really want to
Attaboy.
watch it again. And I don't know. It's just so good. It's just really good. But
Grab it now.
actually, I saw a sale on the Criterion Collection, so I might actually jump on that.
Oh, jump on it. Jump on it. Always look, get the what's it called? The Honey app or extension for any
Oh, okay.
discount codes.
Yeah, yes, true. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. So games. I actually did play some games. So first
Oh
off,
yeah, games.
yeah, that's the thing we do, right? Yeah, yeah.
It's the main thing. It's in the title. Good
I
game.
know. You would
Not
think,
good.
right?
Not GM. It's not good movies.
For sure. Although a
Eh,
spinoff? No, no, no. Anyway,
eh.
I
Maybe with someone that can talk about them.
sir,
Maybe you
I'm
and
gonna
Dark.
I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work with you on this. This is happening, sir.
I don't know.
You're gonna start
Remember,
seeing movies
it's
different.
not a it's not a what how they call it. You know, wheel issue versus
Oh,
versus. In my case, it's totally a wheel issue. It's like I will
gotcha,
not.
gotcha. Fair enough. Fair enough. I finished the game Blade of Fury, and this game is
Oh, Lady
really, really
Fury.
cool.
Yeah.
I mentioned it last week. It is side-scrolling action game. It ramps the difficulty up really nicely. I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was like, "Oh, this is
Okay.
kind of easy," or easier. But then somewhere along the line, it's like, "Ooh, this boss is slapping me around a little bit." Not Dark Souls or any side of or what's the other one? Salt and Sanctuary. Since it's a side-scrolling, technically, it's not
Mhm.
nothing that difficult. But it is challenging. There's particularly the last couple bosses where I was like, "Whoa,
It's not
you know,
Cuphead,
it's
but
not Cuphead." No, it's not. But it is good. It is a beautiful looking game. My only gripes on it, a couple technical hitches here and there. Nothing that killed the game, but they're noticeable.
Mhm.
And lastly, it's short. The time on the game was the game clock had me at 4.5 hours. I was
I
like,
don't know, man.
oh,
I want to start putting that as a positive because I'm noticing that
well,
lately with
it's a
long games.
positive, because I'm able to get through it. But for me, I was enjoying it and wanted more.
Oh, okay,
And at
yeah,
4.5 hours,
I
I'm
guess
like,
that
oh,
makes
it's
sense.
over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
New
yeah,
Game Plus.
there is no New Game Plus.
Oh,
It does have challenges, which I was like, I don't want to do challenges. I was like, I'm all right with this.
yeah.
But it's a really cool game. I'm glad I took the time to follow it because I've been following it for a little bit and then finally jump on it. I did.
Jump on it.
Quick sidebar. I did jump back onto Monster Hunter World for a little bit with
Oh, Oh my
with
God!
Dark and with Chaos.
Wait.
Because a certain person was missing that day.
Wait a minute. You took my place? You took my place, sir. You took my place.
Not permanently.
I
Not permanently.
could not be more honored, sir. I
Well, I think
appreciate
I'm
that, you know.
thank you. I think I'm
You
going to end up
stepped up to the plate.
disappointing these two though, because we were playing
Aw.
Monster Hunter World, and they have the ice, whatever the
Expansion?
expansion, Ice World or whatever. It's called.
Iceborne.
Iceborne, yeah. They have that, and they've beat that, and they've completely leveled up. Whatever. Right? I don't have that, so I'm like, well, I'm not going to go buy it. But they were dying to just play something. The three of us. I'm like, all right, we'll jump in. So I'm like, I have a few what I consider high level, things that are left, and I'm like, haven't completed these. Let's do that. I'm like Hunter Rank 39. I looked at my save file that was still saved, brought it over. It's like 123 hours. All right, yeah, I'm good. Dude, I am such a scrub. It's unreal. It's like I've completely forgotten everything.
Everything, yeah.
Everything. I don't even know how to swing my damn sword. How do you do this?
Welcome to day one of me of playing with them, the Division, where I felt like I was on training day in the movie. Yeah,
dude, I literally had to sit out a fight because you know how if if one person dies 3 times,
at least in your case it was voluntary.
This wasn't voluntary, my friend. This was like, we're gonna need you to not come over here. I'm like, okay, fine.
You're hindering us.
I was basically Batman in the Justice League at that point. It's like, okay, that's fine. I can be okay. I'll just sit over here collecting herbs while they're fighting the stupid Elder Dragon. And I'm just like, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, so I feel bad because I was just like, I'm not going to delete the game. Maybe I'll do something. Because they're like, oh, we can whatever. And I'm like, all right.
How many people can play at the same time? Is it 4?
You got to do 4, yeah. You can do 4.
So, dude, right there. If you're a scrub, I am. Dude, I am. What's worse than scrub? A scum. Because I gotta be probably level 15. It's lucky. I'm not gonna remember anything about it, and I was like, yeah, just to get on something else because we were playing too much Division, and we all installed it. And
first off, let me tell you, the PS5 upgrades for this game
talk to me.
Are amazing. This game looks gorgeous in 60 frames per second. I was just walking the harbor or whatever it is when you back at the whatever. I'm just like, damn, this thing looks really good. You know, like
it's like really, it's made for it. It's like it
would think.
Doesn't it make you want to go back, man?
I honestly, dude. So here, I'm gonna give you a quick thing. There was a Kieran that I set up a Kieran because I couldn't do it on my own. When I remember that. That's why I never went back to it. I couldn't do it on my own. I set up the thing, and I'm waiting for this guy. Chaos he's fighting something else. He goes, "Don't worry, I'll join you in a little bit." Okay, I jump in, and Dark jumps in, right? And so okay, we're taking off, whatever. And then I'm looking for Dark, and I'm like, "Where did he go?" Oh, well, so let me go fight the monster, and then I get to the monster, and Dark is already slapping the shit out of this thing when I get there. And I'm like, oh, okay. And dude, we are literally 5 minutes into the 50-minute run to a monster. 5 minutes in, and it's over. Dark is taking him out. Yeah. And then at that point, Chaos is like, hey, I'm gonna jump in. I said, nah, man, for what? We're heading back to the you know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I probably got 2 hits on the Kieran. You know what I mean? And that's because I couldn't figure out. I'm sitting there, remember I have the insect glaive, and I'm like, I was so good with this insect glaive, and I have no idea how to use this shit now. You know what I mean? So bad. So I don't know if I want to play like that. I guess the main thing.
Get it back though. You can get it back if you play by yourself a little bit. You remember. I mean, they made me remember the Division.
True.
So, and I mean, they still destroy, but I'm not far behind now. I'm pretty sure that. Would you imagine the 4 of us playing? Oh, it would be so awesome.
I mean, I love Monster Hunter World. Let me wrong. I mean, 123 hours, nothing to sneeze at. You know,
no,
I mean, nothing compared to these two who are in their hour 500 or something. But yeah, it was. I remember really, really, really enjoying that game a lot.
No reason not
And
to continue because I'm thinking, well, the Nintendo version is out because
Mhm.
I'm not gonna buy that. I mean, good reviews and all that, but I'm not gonna buy that to just play by myself. And
fuck the whole friend code thing. Yeah, I hear you.
they fuck them exactly. So Monster Hunter World is like festivals for the rest of us, right? It's like the game that is gonna stay, and it's fine because it is tailored for the console. It looks better. It runs magnificent now on PS5. I mean, hell,
Dude,
I
it
was
really.
considering getting
Yeah.
that expansion just to play with the guy if we decided to do it seriously. Why not? It might as well be a new game because the way it looks
I
and
mean, it
plays and all
could be.
that.
It is technically Iceborne has. I mean, you
Yeah.
kind of selling me on it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't delete it. It's still downloaded, but I was a little disheartened from the experience I had. I was just like, the first fight, I was trying to get there, and
Play
it
with
was
me. You
already
feel
dead.
like a boss.
And then the second fight, they're like, I died. I got knocked out twice, and they're like, hey, we kind of need you to stay over there. I was just like, oh,
Ah.
yeah.
Well, now we can
wanna
be
play with
there
everybody else,
together. We can just be, we'll be killing the little rabbit thingies, and they
Okay,
can just
yeah,
kill
I
the
guess.
elder gods.
Yeah. That may be the way to go. Yeah. So the only hiccup in that particular plan is this other game that I started playing and
Oh,
am completely enthralled with at the moment, and that is
Outriders.
the final cut of Disco Elysium, which yeah, yeah, yeah.
Talk to me everything. I want to hear it from. I don't care. This could be the fucking topic of the week for all I care. Fuck the news. We're gonna talk about this
So
more than any and go.
so to be fair, I am only a couple of maybe 3 hours in.
That's
So
okay. It's Disco Elysium. 3 hours of that game is gonna give us a topic of the week easily.
okay, I'm just saying that I don't have much past that. But no, I am. If there was a word, this is literally the word that I was thinking when I was playing this as a descriptor of this game, and that is the word delicious. This is a delicious game, guys. All right, and
This game I told you, might as well have your fucking name written all over it because of the way it is. And I did a piss poor job of describing it when I tried to put it to you. The only thing I was able to describe was my rage with that fucking kid. Anyway,
I know exactly what cage you're talking about, and yes, it is an annoying little bastard. But I didn't, I didn't stay long on that. But so for those who don't know, Disco Elysium is an RPG, but a really true RPG, a very
European
tabletop
Yeah.
RPG that has so many elements that there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack in this game.
Yes.
And it's sort of a detriment. It doesn't walk you through a lot of stuff. You're really figuring stuff as you go along. And so, your main character is a cop that doesn't know he's a cop. You start with the game, but he's woken up from a drunken stupor, and it's like go now. You just as new as he is to what the hell just has been going on because he can't remember. It's just as new as you are to the game's different systems and stuff like that. And one of the systems includes the 24 different personalities that exist in his head that are essentially you can put experience points to now the personalities do a bunch of different things and they help you craft the type of character or the type of cop or detective that you want to have. My particular choice that I have decided to go with was the intelligent, and the one that I'm envisioning my own wacky Sherlock Holmes. And whereas
Sherlock Holmes.
he is a brilliant guy who has zero social skills. You know, and it's exactly what I think of when I think of Sherlock Holmes. He's a brilliant guy. He can, and it's a great thing because the encyclopedia of the 24 personalities or internal whatever they are, the encyclopedia happens all the time. All the time. And it's just like because something happens and you're like, I don't know what that means. Encyclopedia comes in. What this means is this and this. You know, like nice. You know what I mean? You're extremely brilliant because of that stuff. And obviously you can use that in your conversations.
Yeah.
It is really a dialogue heavy, but it is all voice acted. Really, really well voice acted. This thing
Really
is
good.
ridiculously well written. The writing alone earns the description of delicious because it's just like I love everything I'm hearing, and I've even repeated it so I can just hear it again in that voice. You know what I mean? It's a mystery on top of that, which is even more delicious. I guess you know. It's just I love.
He's lacking words. He's lacking terms.
I can't think of anything else at this point. But I love the fact that it's a there's sort of a murder mystery, but there's more mysteries involved. Like how do I get my other shoe, which I still haven't gotten. But,
your other shoe.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, but I like the fact that because again I went with the intelligent. Those are the stats I'm kind of upping. He is able to visualize. If you think of Sherlock Holmes, the movie with Robert Downey, he's able to visualize stuff that happened. You know, just like yes, that's exactly what I want, and it's happening.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
I don't even remember if that was like I'm trying to think like what the hell did I went for my character? He might have been probably like sleazy or something.
There's I don't know if it's sleazy, but there's definitely the intelligent. You have the brawler or whatever. So you're more of a of a brawler in that case, and then you have somewhere between, which I don't know if it's sleazy or something like that. Then you have the fourth option, which is you customize. You choose what it is you want to do. I went with the preset intelligent, and from there I'm just going to alter as I go. But love my partner. I think Kusanagi is his name. That's what it is. But
I think so, yeah.
he's hilarious. I've caught him in some stuff that he doesn't even like, and I'm just like, this is awesome. You know what I mean? I've already made a decision that had me have to start over again. So
what?
Yes.
Wow!
I made a decision where my character. So apparently, this is a thing where you can. Either choose a bad role if it's one of those things, or make a decision that leads to something bad. In this particular case, I made a decision that essentially made my my cop quit. He just nope, I'm done with being a cop. I'm out of here, and that was it.
There you go. You gotta stop playing. That's your story. You said it. That's your story.
There's a difference.
You're done with it. So you finished this Coliseum. Okay.
There's a difference, though. There was no credits. So.
Yeah. Some might call that the bad ending.
You may say that. But since there were no credits, I'm not considering an ending. But yeah, and it was easily, it was probably about an hour in, so it's really early on. And then from there, I still play another 3 hours after that. So I'm probably in game, playing the game itself, probably close to 5. But because of the redo, it was like, oh shit. But it doesn't matter. I still absolutely dug it, went back into it, and I am just, I don't know, bro. I'm just really smitten with this game.
That's awesome. I knew you were gonna like it. I knew you were gonna like this game.
I wasn't sure because I've heard good and bad things, and I mean, it got excellent reviews for the record. But some of the bad things, I was just like the fact that you can roll yourself to death, you know what I mean, and by accident, you know what I mean, and then you gotta start over. This is like, okay, is
it starting over or is it picking up from like a save state?
I got back to the beginning and it had new game. They didn't have anything about load game.
Probably
so I could have missed it.
It was either early enough or maybe you didn't save because it's an old school RPG that.
No, it autosaved. Yeah, it autosaved. Yeah, because I went I was. First of all, it shows you autosave, Then I stopped the game because I was gonna. So let me manually save, and when I did that, I saw two autosaves. So I was like, oh,
Okay.
okay. So I have two autosaves and a manual. So I guess technically I can go back. I just didn't. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
you're like, wow.
yeah, maybe I could have, but yeah. So honestly, I I really don't have much past that. Other than the fact that I love the fact that you had to, I can't remember the name now,
Mhm.
something shit compression, where it's get your shit together,
Oh yeah.
and that shit right there
Yeah.
had me in tears. I read the description of this particular thing. It
I
said,
think, dude, I mean, you will have to scroll forever, but I literally took a screenshot of that and sent it to you. Oh, oh my god, now I have to find it because that shit was hilarious. Disco
oh,
Elysium
okay, volumetric shit compressor.
shit compressor,
Your
yes.
shit is this. Your shit is apart, and it's rather unbecoming of a cop. And a human being is supposed to be the opposite of that together. Oh my god, it's so funny. And then that's the other thing. I laugh so much in this thing because I'm constantly so I try to play it. So I'm trying to play it like again like a fucking Sherlock. You know what I mean? Where
I'm sorry, shit compressor just cracked me up.
yeah, it's so
Sorry,
ridiculous.
go.
Oh, and so I'm trying to play like Sherlock. Sherlock is an asshole. You know what I mean? That's the whole deal. He is brilliant, but he's an asshole.
Yeah, he has very
And
poor social skills.
he has extremely poor social skills. He is arrogant. He will say something that hurts somebody and then you realize that you just hurt them. It's like that type of person. I'm just like, that's my detective right there. What I want. And when I make the choices, it's just like, oh my God, it's so wonderfully reacted to because it's every angle has been thought of, or at least it appears that way. And you just never know what you're gonna get. You never know the ultimate thing that you get on the other end. And I don't know, dude. I am really, really digging this one. Really, really digging it. I honestly do. I can't wait to go back. I really, really like this is
Yeah.
something I'm gonna be when I can throughout this weekend, I'm going to be jumping in. Because I want more of it. I want to be left alone. I don't want anyone to stir. I just want to listen to this wonderful story unfold
Yeah.
and go from there. But
And make it your own story.
yeah,
The game definitely does not lack on like the immersion, the world is itself,
hmm
uh and even the sounds, the music, and everything, and just like I said, even the description of things,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. There's a lot
it could
to
be
read.
hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot to read. There's a lot to because like for instance, although I think you can get that even voice done as well. Um, every like what do you call it? Personality or whatever they call it.
The
Each of those
personality.
personalities you can get a nice description, and you don't have to
Mhm.
use them all. You can sort of back away and sort of pocket some points and just okay, let's see where I want to go. Maybe I'll go. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
kind of get a
yeah.
feel for it. Um, unlike anything I've ever played, really. I
Hmm.
dig that. You know me. I
That game
love
is special.
new shit. I just love
Yeah.
something that's different. And yeah, yeah.
Very highly. I've always been super highly score.
Even
Yeah,
more
rated.
now. Even
Even
more
more
now.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I've
It's
seen
like,
it like perfect tens
yeah. I'm like,
on it.
holy crap. I'm like, I need to. You sent me a message to saying, dude, I guess you have to do it. I had already done it.
Yeah.
Like by the time
You
I
had already.
realized it was already downloaded. I was like, oh yeah, I wasn't wasting time on that one. I
uh,
knew it was on my list to get when it came out. And the moment, and I was looking even last week, dude. Sony's fucking store. Seriously, they need to fix that shit. I was looking last week. I'm like, it's coming soon. I can see this trailer on Sony's own YouTube channel.
mm,
Why is the game not on their store, even to pre-order? You know what I mean? And
wow.
whatever. By the way, I did get it on a deal as well because it was PlayStation Plus. The PlayStation Plus took like $8 off or like that. So I was like,
Oh wow,
oh man.
nice.
So yeah. So
Yeah,
another
I just got. I just got. I mean, I bought this game a few days after it came out, and because of the very good vibe, and played it. I have to go back to it. I think I got sidetracked, but definitely not because lack of entertainment. I just got the patch for the Final Cut
Final
for
Cut?
free.
No.
It's
Yeah,
just
yeah. It is a free upgrade.
15 gigabytes. Just like as we were talking, it was downloading.
Yeah.
And it's I can start playing that again. I'll probably pick it up again, and because I don't remember any of my decisions or anything like
So
that.
that's what I'm trying to say. So it's like I look at like, okay, so yeah, Monster Hunter World, okay, I get it, but I want none of that right now. You know, I just want this right now, and because I don't even want to like, I don't want to interrupt the momentum that I already have going with this. You know what I mean? And I feel like anything else, while it may be fun, my mind will still be in. I want to be playing Disco Elysium, and so because of
you
that,
don't even want to do this podcast. You just want to go back.
I mean, if it wasn't the fact that I absolutely love this podcast,
there you go. You fixed it. All right, cool.
Anyway, guys, that's a long way of saying that that's all I've been doing. Technically, there's an ending there, but it's I don't know.
Rolling credits is not an ending. I don't think it's when the issue gets resolved, whether for good or bad or in.
Well, if that's the case, then yes, I would say that it is. It is to have an ending. The issue is resolved. I don't know if everybody agrees with it, but anyway,
not the Flowers of Maplethorpe.
We, ladies and gentlemen, are back, and we are back with our useless news that you can use. And of course, I'm gonna, dear Lord, the abuse of news on this show is scary.
I mean, sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes those pieces of news it scars us.
It does. It does. Yeah,
it's terrible.
So I'm going to start, of course, with the free games for April. Yeah, buddy. All right.
I never marked them because I know you always have them.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. PlayStation Plus subscribers will get access to 3 games in April. The first one being Days Gone, which if you already have a PlayStation 5 with the collections, you probably already have, but it's there if you don't. Oddworld Soulstorm, which is actually a new release, and Zombie Army 4 Dead War. The trio of these PlayStation Plus freebies will be available to download from April 6th through May 3rd. Days Gone, of course, Sony Ben's open world adventure game for the PlayStation 4 about bikers in a zombie apocalypse. PlayStation Plus subscribers will get a double dose of zombies in April with thanks to Zombie Army 4 Dead War, which is a PlayStation 4 shooter from the makers of Sniper Elite 4. And then, of course, PlayStation 5 owners can download Oddworld Soulstorm, a modern-day reimagining of 1998's Oddworld Abe's Exodus, and follow-up to 2014's Oddworld New and Tasty. Oddworld Soulstorm makes its debut on PlayStation 5 on April 6th and will be free for PlayStation Plus owners, PlayStation Plus subscribers, excuse me. So, new game off the back coming into... This is... Sidebar. This is in many ways a way of sort of not combating, but sort of coming to terms with Game Pass and the fact that there's games that are coming to Game Pass day one, part of the service. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not exactly the same because you only have 30 days. If you don't tag it, you don't have it. You know what I mean? Which is why I say tag everything. Fuck it. Who gives a shit as long as it's part of the library, But it's kind of an interesting choice. And again, it's one way to get to say, hey, we don't have Game Pass, but we have this Soulstorm, new game, new whatever, and it's available now.
It's a solid selection, actually, when you think about it.
It is.
For this month, I already have Days Gone tag. I am interested playing that game because of the enhancements on PlayStation 5. The other one, I don't know about the zombie one. The other zombie one.
Yeah, I've not heard that one yet.
No, no.
But, of course, Xbox games. No, Xbox Games with Go. Right, Games with Go. Yeah. Go program.
It's okay not to remember. They change their name every
Every
weeks,
yeah,
so,
exactly. So next month's games roll out on April 1st. So I got to do this month with Game Farm's action role playing game called Vikings: Wolves of Midgard for Xbox One. Capcom's flying shooter Dark Void for the Xbox 360. Also coming is Truck Racing Championship, which will be available from April 16th through the 15th of May, and Hardcore Uprising available from April 16th to the 30th of April.
Hardcore Uprising is good.
Yeah, the Contra spinoff. Yep.
Yep.
It's a good choice right there. Yes, a good choice.
That's a good one.
So look forward to all these free games. Make sure you tag them. I can't express this more than anything else, guys. Tag the game, even if I have Knack. I have not played it, but it's there. And you know why it's there? I'm gonna tell you why it's there. Sidebar. I'm gonna tell you why it's there. There's gonna come a day where somebody goes, "Hey, Knack wasn't that bad of a game," and I, in my infinite curiosity, is gonna go, I wonder if this person's right or wrong. Then I'm going to throw on Knack. Why? Because it's part of my library. And suddenly I can come back to this person later on going, dude, you're an idiot. The game's shit. But I can do that from a place of knowledge because I have the game.
That makes sense. That makes horrible sense, unfortunately. Because I was going to say, there's some games that I don't bother tagging. Not because sometimes it's not that they're bad. It's just... my backlog is so large already that to keep adding stuff to it, it's just, I feel like it's just gonna dilute it even further to the point where I'm not even gonna remember or recognize or realize that they are on the game. Dude, I was looking at
the beauty. Do you know it's like finding $5 in your pants? Right? It's
yeah,
like
but what if you don't wear the pants because you don't realize?
Obviously, yeah, then you miss out. But it's one of those things where you go, like I mentioned a game, and you go, oh, I don't know if I have that. You check your library, boom, it's there. You're like, shit, I do have it. You know what I mean? It's again, it's like that.
That's cool when the game when the game is exciting. Like I just discovered that I own Blasphemous. I don't remember when I bought that game.
Yes, that's a great one. See, that's
it's there. It's
feels like
it's
now it feels like $10 in your pocket. Let's be real.
Yes, actually, if anything, it's probably lacking $10 because that's probably how much I pay for it if I had to remember. But for a game that I'm not playing because I don't remember. So imagine me tagging like everything else, like the games that came out last month. I'm getting an email. Sony's
reminding
me like, hey, download the games before they go.
Dude, and I'm The Witness. Have you gotten The Witness yet?
I got The Witness. Yeah, I got The Witness.
Did you get Abzu?
I'm not gonna play Abzu ever. I think
Did you enter the Gungeon?
I probably Gungeon. I think I own Gungeon. No, I don't own Gungeon. But let me see Abzu. No, I don't have Abzu either. It's just I know they're good games. I'm never gonna play them. I'm never gonna play. If I haven't finished Hotline Miami,
you never know.
What are the chances of me going and entering the Gungeon?
You never know. That's what I'm trying to say. You never know. Why would you say no to something free that you know is good?
Because I want to keep my list as lean as possible for the games that I'm actually interested in playing, so that whenever I look at it, I can say, well, at least this is a list of games that I'm actually interested in going in at some point, rather than this game. Oh, actually, I don't care about this game that much. Oh, I have to scroll down, and it just. I feel like I'll be, like I said, I'll be watering it down.
It's not watering it down. Abzu's not watering it down, although it is underwater, so maybe it's a water ball, but it's not watering it down.
Literally. It will be if I have no interest in playing it. Like if I have it doesn't call my attention, and I realize it's a good game. Don't get me wrong, but if I have absolutely no interest in playing it, it's just gonna be wasted. It's just gonna be wasted space. Or not space, because I wouldn't be downloaded, but it's going to be elongating my list even further.
I'm going to need you to sign into your account on my PlayStation 5 so that I can tag these fucking games for you, God damn it. You actually probably have access to Abzu through my account. so yeah, I
there
guess
you go. So I don't need to,
fair
you know,
enough.
if they're
Fair
separate.
I just disproved my point. Whatever.
You remember Gris, right? I have
Gris,
that
yeah.
game. I want to play. I like that game. It's just I haven't gotten the chance to put it. So I
Well, you have it on PC.
I have it on PC. I have Guacamelee. Remember, I got Guacamelee. For your
Yeah, but you already
information.
told me why you don't fucking play that game because you
No,
can't. say
no.
yeah,
But I downloaded it because I'm like I'm just gonna give it a shot. Fuck it. It's probably gonna be
dude,
very fun. It's gonna be a
just do it.
surprise.
Just like the movie. Take 3 games. You know what I mean? This is the next game I'm playing. You know. By the way, 13 Sentinels. That was supposed to be a thing at some point. I remember you saying.
I know. I remember. Yeah. It's just
Anyway.
the freaking what's it called? What's it called?
I don't know. The Division.
Tsushima just fucking ended.
Oh, Tsushima.
Yeah. Just fucking ended. I think I'm not gonna say I'm done with gaming. I think I'm done with long games. I don't know. Unless they super mega grab me, it'll have to be.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So here's a game that I'll be completely 100% all upon. Like,
Okay.
no doubt. Remedy's next game with Epic is Alan Wake 2, bro.
Are you serious?
It's a report. So
Is it a rumor or is it a report?
that's the report. The report is probably a rumor. Let's find out. It looks like Remedy will be going back to Alan Wake with its next big project. According to VentureBeat's Jeff Grubb, one of those is Alan Wake 2. Grubb revealed this on his Twitch show, explaining that Remedy had been looking for a publisher to help fund Alan Wake 2, and Epic offered the best deal. Of course. The reporter didn't reveal any details about the game, just that it was something the Remedy wanted to make. When the deal was announced in 2020, Remedy says that other projects will be set in the same universe, but it's going to be smaller in scale. Alan Wake 2 supposedly was in pre-production at that time. Epic has also signed the next project from Gen Design and Playdead as part of the same announcement in an effort to build exclusive games for its platform and not just rely on buying time exclusive rights like it has been doing basically.
Yeah, like everything else it did. Yeah.
So, it's not quite surprising that Remedy is going back to Alan Wake, as the developer has been trying to connect different games with each other in the same universe. Indeed, creative director Sam Lake said last summer that the studio's new project takes place in the Control and Alan Wake universe. Remedy has turned into quite a busy studio. The Finnish developer is currently working on a single-player campaign of Crossfire X, as well as a mysterious other multiplayer project. Crossfire X, if I recall correctly, was that weird.
Yeah, I remember that one.
What was that? Oh my God, what's the name of that? What's the famous game? Terrorist Wins. What the fuck is that? The name of that game?
I have no
help
idea,
me.
bro.
God help me.
I have no idea. I don't know where to go from.
I'm drowning, dude. I swear, I'm drowning.
Crossfire. I remember Crossfire, but
no, it's a Valve game, and it had people are yelling. I know, you guys, stop! I'm trying to remember myself here. People are yelling at their thing.
they
It's
sure
a
are.
Valve game. It's a Valve game, bro. Help me.
A Valve game.
Counter fucking motherfucking
Counter-Strike?
strike.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Dear Lord, I never would have guessed that.
Kill me now. Just end me now.
I can't.
My
We have to
mind does
finish
not
this
work
show.
anymore.
But I will at the end of the show.
After okay, thank you. Okay, well, you have to rest me afterwards because we still have more shows.
Yeah, I do.
Counter Strike, yes, thank you. I forgot what the news piece is about. I don't care anymore. Actually, I do care. Alan Wake 2. So yeah, man. Apparently, it's not a rumor. Apparently, it's a report. So
Here's what I want them to do. I want
Okay.
them to also remaster Alan Wake and bring it to PlayStation 5. Just that's what I need. That's what I'm asking for. That's what-
Absolutely. Well, here's my concern.
Hmm.
What does that mean? Epic exclusive. So that means it's not gonna see console. because
I mean, I don't know. Sony owns a small stake in Epic, so who knows?
Oh, there
Maybe
you go.
you got
Okay, that's
a
right.
little whisper of the ear, like
That
hey,
is right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, we didn't forget about that, did we?
Not I, that's for sure.
That's right. That's right. It's like okay, Microsoft. So you polish Alan Wake. You're not gonna bring it to PlayStation. Oh, okay. Well, guess what? We have fucking Alan Wake too.
No, remember that Remedy
Let's
owns
talk.
Alan Wake, not Microsoft.
Didn't they put? Oh, yes, that's
Yeah,
right. Because they gave it back, right? They're
yes,
publishing.
yes. So
Oh,
it's
then fuck,
possible
then
it could be
fuck.
done. That's what I'm saying. All they need is, guess what? Money. And last time I checked,
Oh, they
Epic's
need
got
is
some money. So-
Epic has some money. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Absolutely.
yeah.
Oh, I'm dying for you to play Alan. But see, I say that, but I also it's like, no, that's a game of its time.
Hence
It's not
the
gonna be
remaster.
anything.
Hence the remaster.
Okay.
I said either a remaster or a remake, one of the two. But I would prefer a remaster with some, like, some updates
Yeah.
to make it feel a little bit more of now.
Of now, yeah, absolutely. And besides, the game was never. It was I didn't feel like a lot of those games from Remedy. I feel like it's much about the story and the setting in the
Mhm.
area where you're in,
I'm cool, dude.
as it is with the gameplay.
You
And
know
the game,
that I love Control. I love the world. I love the craziness of it. I love everything about it. To me personally, that is Remedy's best game. One of the best games, period.
Yeah.
That have been made. Because of the way it has that. I was playing that again on PlayStation 5, and I'm going, I really shouldn't play this anymore. I don't need to play this anymore. But I'm playing it because it looks beautiful. It's on 60 frames a second. And I don't know why I'm still playing this. It's just
do you still have space on your PlayStation 5?
yes, because I'm economical.
Economic.
Yeah.
You bought a USB stick, a sizable USB stick.
Yes,
you can put
it's
in there.
3 terabyte, but
forget
it'll
There
do.
you go.
It'll do.
Damn. Holy shit.
Not even
wonder.
close. Yeah, not even close, guys. My next piece, guys, is news. I have a lot of movie news, so I'm just gonna quickly throw these out here. And one of probably the biggest ones of all to me, probably only, but Knives Out, the hit
Oh, yeah.
2019 Who Done It from Ryan Johnson is getting 2 sequels, and they are now Netflix exclusives.
What? That's
Let me
crazy.
tell you how Netflix has immediately solidified its place in
Portfolio?
my my bills, essentially. It's like, I was, because you kind of doubt a little bit. I'm watching a lot more HBO Max, although I do kind of jump over to Netflix here and there.
Yeah, of course.
But
It's a
I know that The
necessary
Witcher's
evil.
coming out. I know
Yeah.
that the final season of Stranger Things is coming out, and I'm like, okay, I still want that. I still want that. And then boom, okay. Let me get to the news piece. According to Variety, Netflix bought the sequel rights at the absolutely staggering price of $450 million. The aggressive sum locks down the streamer as the home for 2 more mysteries starring Daniel Craig as Detective Benoit Blanc. Oh God, I'm so excited. Anyway, with writer-director Ryan Johnson staying on board, the next film is expected to shoot in Greece later this year. So if you have not watched Knives Out, first off, shame on you. Go watch this movie. It's an excellent.
I watched this movie. I can say
I've seen it so many times. So many times. It's ridiculous. I own it. I've seen it so many times. It's on my Prime. You probably have it there too. You just don't even know it's there. But it is excellent. And all I wanted at the end of this was I want more Benoit Blanc. I love Daniel Craig's character. It is the most, I don't know what is about it, but it's just the most hilarious and entranced with that character.
he's a Sherlock Holmes of our era.
Yeah, and he's original. That's the beauty of it. Is there's not jumping off of anything. Although to be fair, there are book series, the Agatha Christie murder book series, which are it pulls a little bit from that. So I guess not 100% original, but anyway, I was listening to a podcast that was sort of reviewing that, and the director was on the podcast, Ryan Johnson, and they asked him, he's like, "So, is there anything?" He's like, "We would love it." It's like, I would be on board. I was just like, yes, yes, he wants to do another. It's like, yes, I want that. Just do that. Don't worry about Star Wars. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about Star Wars. I don't care about Star Wars anymore. My bro doesn't care about Star Wars anymore. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Do this. Do this. And here we go. Not only a sequel, we have another one. 2 sequels that are going to be available, and it's going to be on Netflix, sir. I can't say anything else other than I'm extremely excited. I just want to keep the team together. The writer, director, the visual, everybody in the back, and the fact that Benoit Blanc is involved. Oh God.
Yeah, I'll be very excited about that. I'm not sure. Like at first, I wasn't sure how I felt about. Oh well, Netflix is acquiring. So what does that mean? But that's my, console minded head thinking
it does limit.
Exclusive, like it automatically kicks in like in defensive, like it's gonna be an exclusive. Oh, wait a minute, that's not the same. That doesn't mean the same here.
It does.
Everybody has
to be fair, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but to be fair, it does. There are certain films that I personally know of that I'm dying to watch, but they exist on services I don't have, and I refuse to buy. Right. I'm not getting Apple TV, and I know it's there. Yeah. It's just like, and there's like films that are literally on top 10 lists, on Academy Award, Golden Globes, and it's just like, where is it at? It's on Apple. I'm like, no, I already have whatever, Mm-hmm. So the fact that Netflix secured this, I feel better about. Yeah, but exactly. I can also understand, because the reality is Netflix, when you look at these services, everybody has Netflix, right? It's the most common one that everybody has. It's everything else where it's like, some do have it, some don't. Some have Hulu, some don't. Some have HBO, some don't. Right. You know what I mean? Some have Apple, some don't. But everybody, for the most part, has Netflix. Netflix is the synonymous with movie streaming. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah.
As Google is with searching the internet.
Exactly.
What I meant to say. Yeah.
So I'm cool that it's there, but it does set a precedence, right? Because that forces others' hands to say, well, we want people to come to our service. The only way we're going to do that is to secure stuff. And dude, at some point they're going to start securing. I mean, Netflix has money, or at least they appear to have money, because they're constantly fucking throwing money at shit. So
they do, yeah,
probably. So yeah, and so
they bought 2 Chinese films recently.
Yeah, exactly. Back. Which, let's be real, that's gold. So
that's gold.
But yeah, it sets a precedence, and it's possible that we'll start seeing others react, and suddenly the next Martin Scorsese film is on Apple TV, and I'm left with, okay, I guess I could do a free trial, because I just don't want to fucking pay for it, but it is what it is.
That's the problem, right? I think that's the defensive part that I was mentioning. That's
what I'm trying to agree with. Yeah,
we remember we remember how it works with the console thing, and we're thinking on the TV, and yeah. It could end up becoming a war of exclusive, but hey, I don't even know. Speaking of exclusive, sir. Halo Infinite has been canceled.
Are you serious? No.
Oh, wait a minute. No, hold on. I'm getting. Sorry, my bad. I've been had. This was an April Fool's joke. Okay. All right.
Okay. Sorry, that makes sense. Yeah.
It has been delayed until 2022. Following news that. Oh, well, hold on. I'm getting another report. Hold on. What's that? Oh, that was also bullshit. Oh shit! Damn it! Don't you hate April Fools, man?
I do.
Halo. Let me change my. Let me just refresh here my screen. Okay, here we go. Halo Infinite. No plans to delay until 2022, or remove Xbox One support. Following the news that Xbox Infinite will be delayed, the legitimate ones that say that it was going to be delayed until 2021. I mean, this time. Unsubstantiated rumors began circulating that Halo Infinite could be delayed as far as 2022 and drop support for the Xbox One altogether. These rumors were shut down by 343 Industries. In a response tweet, 343's community manager, John Junisek, said that, quote, there are no plans to change our 2021 release or the devices and platforms will be supporting, end quote. Junisek added, we're building Halo Infinite to be the best it can be on each device/platform, end quote. Halo Infinite was originally announced for the Xbox One with enhancements for the Xbox Series X. In January of 2020, Xbox Game Studios boss Matt Booty said that Xbox first-party Microsoft games won't be a Series X exclusive for at least a year as part of a strategy to keep the entire Xbox console line viable and open. However, things were thrown in flux when 343 announced that Halo Infinite will be delayed and missed its Xbox Series X launch window. In a statement, the developer said the decision to shift our release is a result of multiple factors that have contributed to development challenges, including the ongoing COVID-related impacts affecting us this year, end quote. And then, of course, you guys have to remember the 9-minute trash demo that we all experienced. Reveal
of Halo,
on that reveal in July. Some critics noticed that Halo Infinite graphically appeared flat and the fidelity of the demo was lacking. So then they said at the end that they still don't have any firm answers or outcomes to share yet, but that the team is working as quickly as possible. So you guys know how that goes. But basically, I bring this up not so much. I mean, just to remind people that Halo Infinite is still a thing and that Microsoft is very invested into. But more the fact that I find it hilarious how many reliable or semi-reliable news sources were just quickly jumped to the April Fool jokes, and were had. Like at one point, I think Kotaku reported that Halo was canceled.
Wow!
And then they reported, oh no, it's not canceled; it's actually delayed. And also that was wrong. So it's like, yikes! It didn't look good for the news media. And then I wanted to search, okay, so what really happened? And then I found other media that were also updating with like,
I think this
retracting or changing.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect example. So I've been following a lot of just weird news articles and some podcasts that really go into this, but I think this is maybe a possible future hot topic. So I guess I'll just kind of pin it. But basically, it's that realistically, media journalism is not real, or now it's not real journalism. It's a lot of copy and paste. You know what I mean? It's like, that's how they get their news. And they're actually going to the source and actually interviewing, they're actually studying, they're actually, doing the research, which is what real journalism is. And instead it's a lot of, oh, hey, this website has this. Let's get our spin going.
I saw this on Kotaku, or I saw this on NeoGAF, or
correct.
Resende,
and then Kotaku is a perfect example of that. I mean, they had Jason Schreier was probably the last real fucking a journalist on there, and he's no longer there. No. And now they're fucking spinning their wheels. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you know what? The big guns are as well. Even IGN is like, doesn't always look like they're doing their homework when it comes to certain stuff. And so it really makes you wonder, where are the game journalists? Are they even game journalists, or are they just like us, like you and me? I mean,
think
that's
a
what
lot
we're
of-
doing. To be fair, I want to
Yeah.
point that out is we're not game journalists, and I don't think neither Dream
But
Twist
we
or
never
neither-
claimed to be.
correct. We're not claiming to be. All we're doing is we're actually looking at the news and like reciting it to you guys because the reality is most people don't look at the gaming news and maybe you just want to hear the highlights. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we're highlighting the news, but we're
Yes.
not that a news thing. But it's like it just makes you
We're a glorified news aggregator
sure.
with our own biases, of course, which is always
Of
so
course.
helpful
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
media.
yeah.
In the
We're not
news
media,
business.
so it's like we can just do whatever and say whatever we want for that. But if you honestly claim to be that, though, you kind of figure that you would have that those morals in being integrity of being a journalist where you did your research because that's exactly what that is. That right there, what Kotaku did, proves that fact over and beyond. It's like you idiots fell for something on April 1st, which is like in the gaming industry is like don't believe anything on April 1st.
Nope.
Nothing. I've known this for 2 decades at this point. And here you guys are who are in the industry and you fucking fall. Not only you fall for it, you post a story about it, then post a correction about it, and then realize, fuck, we got had. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, how does that even happen?
So I had an idea for an April Fool's joke, but I realized how much I don't care about doing this. But I thought, okay, this is not original. This is not original of mine. I didn't think of this, but it would be hilarious to put in the group. And because I didn't do it, and it'll be too old to do next year. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I was gonna come up with an announcement that we were gonna be in a brand new platform together, and that new platform was going to be OnlyFans.
Wow. Wow. That actually would have worked. Dude, we could have put that on the actual group, and that would have what?
That would have killed it.
Dude,
Right?
Giovanni would have been like, "What?"
Now in OnlyFans.
Oh my God!
Just put the logo. Let's just change that.
He would have said, "The hell with COVID. I'm going to Florida to talk to these two fools."
I just thought that was hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, you saw my message right now, right?
I did.
There's one there,
And the next piece, guys, is a more movie news because that's just how I do, guys. I'm gonna do a two.
What games? Here. We don't do games anymore.
Yeah, apparently, we've been taken over by I don't know movie media.
Hollywood.
Yeah. My next piece is actually going to be a twofer, and it is unfortunately some delays. Sony's Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, has been delayed once again. The action superhero movie has been delayed exactly a week. By a week.
A whole week? Oh, no, then forget
week.
it. I'm not even going to wait for it
I
anymore.
agree. It's missed its opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be in theaters September 24th. Previously, it was slated to premiere September 17th. This was just one of 2 week delays. What?
Oh.
Yes.
By that time, we were going to forget.
I know. Mortal Kombat, the upcoming Warner Brothers movie adaptation pulled from the video game series, has also been delayed exactly a week.
A whole week.
A whole week, yeah. According to a Variety report, originally scheduled for April 16th, Mortal Kombat will hit theaters and HBO Max on April 23rd. And of course, Warner Brothers confirmed this recently. Why the week? Who the fuck knows? At this point, it's just
because they want to get it out of the way of Cyberpunk. You know, that's what
yes, that massive thing is still happening. No, I think. Well, so this is me for the Mortal Kombat one. If you really think about it, April 16th is 2 weeks from now, and Kong just happened. You know what I mean? So I think what you kind of want to do is give it a little time to breathe. You know what I mean? And exactly. So I think that makes more sense, particularly since you really don't know with the times and stuff the way they are right now. And, you know, some people are going to the theater, but most people are not. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, if they're not going to theater, you know, we need to give them, we don't want them to we want to see Mortal Kombat, but we don't want it to miss out on the other one. So yeah.
Yeah, it's too close.
Mhm.
Yeah. Why should they want cannibalize?
The other
Although if
two.
they're being released on streaming, I would say I, I would almost think there wouldn't be such a thing as cannibalizing, right? Because
What?
they're in the
True,
same service, and it'll keep
but they are
people
still coming.
engaged.
True,
Uh huh.
true. But they are still coming to the theater, and as little as that revenue may be, you are cannibalizing one for the other. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, well, we're only getting the normal 20%, but if we release this too soon, then now we're overlapping.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So
Yeah, yeah. Um, my next piece, guys, is I don't know how even to go into this one.
uh-oh.
Introducing the Expeditions update for No Man's Sky. Woo! No, you know what? I'm done.
Oh, No
I'm
Man's
done.
Sky 2?
No, no.
Oh,
Expedition. They're doing yet another patch or another update. Sorry, it's not a patch. I take it back. It is another another free update for that game, and my heart can't take it anymore. It's like this game was already perfect. I can't talk about this, bro. I can't. You know what? I'm just gonna skip all that altogether. Let's talk about Game of Thrones. How about that?
okay.
All right. Game of Thrones is coming to Broadway with
Oh,
a
dear Lord.
prequel.
Oh.
I'm not gonna talk about No Man's Sky because that game's already perfect. That game doesn't need to be developed anymore. Sean Murray should already move to something else. He's done good and actually he's doing more than good enough. He's done perfection already. He has released the only perfect game that ever exists, and we're not playing it.
I know.
So, Game of Thrones it is. Get your tickets for the great tourney at Harrenhal. Game of Thrones is getting a new kind of spin-off, this time on Broadway. You thought I was kidding, or this was April Fool's. Actually, I better check that it's not April Fool's. No, this was 3 days ago. So we're in the clear. No, fuck, that would have put us right at Game.
Yeah,
No.
right on the first. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me get an update on this real quick because Polygon, I swear to you.
To be fair, though, it's not unheard. Many things become Broadway play, so it's really. I'm actually shocked it took this long for that
It
to happen.
seems-
So, yeah.
it seems legit, and it was actually reported originally on March 30th,
There
2022.
you go. There you go.
So I'm going to take it as a fact. The show, the production, which the Hollywood Reporter called a stage show spectacular, will act as a prequel to A Song of Ice and Fire, or the series that you guys know as Game of Thrones. But will feature some fan favorite characters. The show is being developed by a Son of Ice and Fire author, George R. Martin, because apparently he doesn't have 2 fucking books still that he needs to complete, right?
Mhm.
And we'll tell the story of the Great Tourney at Harrenhal, one of the most important events in the A Song of Ice and Fire universe. Yeah, that's right, kids. That's the name of the book. The name of the book is A Song of Ice and Fire. It's
In
not
case you
Game of
didn't know,
Thrones.
yeah.
In case you didn't know, Game of Thrones is just book 1. I know HBO made it a whole series, even though the first season was only book 1, but no, in this case, yeah. The show is being developed, like I said, by R.R. Martin. Fans who know the recent Westerosi history may remember that this tournament was the setting for the events that helped spark Robert's rebellion, where he dethroned Aerys Targaryen II, also
Mhm.
known as the Mad King, and took the throne with Ned Stark by his side. See, guys, this is actually by the time that Game of Thrones was actually good. Oh, sorry, Song of Ice and Fire. Fuck. The play will be written by Duncan Macmillan, who adapted George R. Orwell's 1984 for the stage, and will be directed by Dominic Cook from The Courier. For those who know, it will focus on conversations and plots behind behind the scenes of the tournament and will probably involve some fighting as well. No mentions is there going to be any dragons involved in this one. Uh, yada yada yada. While the play is in development now, the production is still very long ways off. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the production goal is to debut in New York City, London's West End, and Australia in sometime in 2023. So, again, fuck finishing the actual real story, right? Because who needs to see the end of what happened, right?
Honestly,
For all intended purposes, Jon Snow was still killed by the whatever was it that killed him, originally.
spoilers.
The first time. Oh yeah, sorry. But that's how the book ended, and we don't know because it happened also on the series. Spoilers, but then he was okay. So,
Yeah.
like, who cares?
This guy's involved. He was involved with all of it, and
Listen,
and these guys mentioned it, and they said it for the longest time. He gave them what the ending was.
He didn't.
And they screwed it up.
And B, I'm sure that he is rolling in his grave, even though he's pretty much alive, and helping do freaking musicals. He is rolling in his grave still.
Yeah, the reality is this, and I say this all the time: finishing a massive story, particularly with TV, and you go several seasons. Finishing it is always perilous. Because you will not satisfy. You are going to alienate a good portion of you. Is it going to be more than half? Is it going to be less than half? You have no idea. The reality is there's so many ideas as to where the story is going to go that at some point you're not going to land it with everybody. You can please them along the way. By the time you get to the end, though, so many shows have done that. Very few nail it. Not Game of Thrones. Jesus Christ, we're talking about Game of Thrones. Fucking Breaking Bad is it is like a rarity, But to be fair, as rare as that may be, that it finishes well, you kind of knew because you knew he was going to die because it's not he was already. I mean, spoilers. He's terminal at the beginning of the show. So he's
episode one.
Episode one. Yeah. So how he goes was really the question, and I don't think anybody can look at that and go, he didn't go out like a champ. You know what I mean? So,
right.
But that's rare, and it also required that setup already. So, but when you really look at a lot of shows, and even like I said, even trilogies and movies and stuff like that, it's like, why does it always feel like it ends not where you're wanting? It's because it's weird, but it's hard to land and finish or end the story. You know what I mean? And I think you can count more on one hand the ones that do it well versus the ones that don't. The ones that don't are pretty much everything. You can point it anywhere. Look at Lost. Look at Fringe. Look at it's back to back. Every show, How I Met Your Mother, just wherever you go, it's like it ends oddly because it's just like you don't know where to end it. You don't know how to end it. Because it's supposed to be an end, but is it an end or is it just hey, this is where we're stopping the story?
Yeah, I feel like that's important. The fact that sometimes it's not that you want to end it; it's that you're forced to end it. You have to wrap it up. For the real reasons of the real world,
Mm-hmm.
and contracts or actors moving to something else or ratings or for whatever reasons, and those are where you get the kind of like fake endings. I call them. It's like, oh, they're just wrapping it up. They're just wrapping it for wrapping it up sake.
Which
but
was
then
what Game of Thrones the last season
ended up.
That's
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, everything happened so quick, and let's just but you have to end it. That's the thing. The bottom line.
You do, yeah.
Otherwise, you risk becoming a Walking Dead.
Oh God.
So,
Well,
and
dude, well fucking said. Dear Lord, well
that's,
said.
that's the opposite. Yeah, that's what it just
Correct.
keeps going. Yeah.
It's living up to its name.
Yeah.
Just like it's just strolling along like a zombie, never falling,
Yeah.
and you don't know what it's doing. It's
It's just
yeah.
that's the fundamental problem. That's why it needs to end, whether whether you can stick the landing or you crash and burn. But
Yeah.
by all means.
But most of the time, it's always something. It's either not sticking the landing or it crashes and burns. Very, very rarely does it stick the landing.
Yeah.
So, I think so. My point is to say that I feel like George R.R. Martin is afraid of the of that ending. You know what I
There's
mean?
no way he
Yeah.
doesn't have the way. There's no life. There's no lifeline, lifeblood in him left to complete this thing. He overdid, like, by at least 10 or 15 years
Mhm.
he behind. There's no much left. I mean, you got to think this guy at that age, you start getting a little less and little less and little less, and I mean it's happening to us already, to me already.
Yeah. He was in 60. He's in his mid 60s by the time the series was rolling. You know, mid series. He's in his
Yeah.
like 65, 66 years old. It's like, dude, you're already an old guy, and you're trying to finish short, but you're also working on other projects. It's
But you're also doing so many things, exactly.
yeah, it's like it's impossible.
And the thing is, you read those books. Those books have a very, very specific method, a very specific language. It's just you're not gonna give it to someone else to finish. So what happens? You all this time you brought us along on an incredible journey. Because mind you, that story is amazing.
It is, yeah, for sure.
But then it's gonna be incomplete
Mm-hmm.
because you're gonna kick the bucket soon. Hopefully not, but we
At
all
some
gonna,
point,
at
we
some
all
point.
do. You know,
Yeah.
we're all coming to that
We're
end.
not
yeah.
wishing anything on anybody. We're just
No.
saying, hey,
Yeah.
that's a fact of life.
Yeah.
It ends.
Yeah.
Unlike The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it doesn't, then you are The Walking Dead.
All men must die. I mean, that's
Oh,
what
man.
it does.
Dude, let's just close it
Nailed
right there.
it.
That was perfect. That was perfect. That was.
So my last piece real quick, guys, is this like breaking or sort of breaking?
Bad.
So we knew that the Batman movie, which is starring Robert Pattinson, was going to be its own standalone part of the DC Films universe, not
Yes.
connected to any quote unquote Snyderverse. But apparently Warner Brothers is giving director Matt Reeves' universe its own official designation. In an in-depth report about DC's films canceling several big film productions in the wake of Snyder's Justice League, the subject of Batman's relation to other upcoming DC movies had to be addressed. While WB and DC Films will be consolidating their shared universe continuity into one rebooted timeline after the Flash movie, the Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, will exist in a separate, quote, Earth 2, end quote, universe of the DC multiverse.
Of course.
Yes. Here is what Heat Vision got from its discussion with sources at Warner Brothers. Quote, except for the Batman, which is set in an alternate Earth known to geeks as Earth 2, DC is plotting its films and shows to share the same universe. Key to setting up a new status quo will be The Flash coming November 4th, 2022.
Flash. Okay.
So yeah, for the record, Earth 2 is a thing in the DC comics. For the it's not, they didn't just invent that, but it does feel that they're pulling that in to just kind of make to kind of make a reason why it may not be connected.
Well, it makes sense, right? It's like, well, it's like in the comics world, like the reason why they have all these multiverses is like, well, everybody's interpretation of Batman or Superman it's different, right? So
Yeah.
how do we justify them being so different? Oh, well, it's not the same universe. And then you have all the things, and I understand the reasoning behind it in the comics world. I kind of don't care about having an explanation. I'm okay with just like, oh,
Yeah,
well, this
you
is a
didn't
different
need-
interpretation.
exactly. Yep.
It doesn't need to be a There doesn't need to be a universe where all of them meet
Mhm.
Spider-Man into the Spideyverse. I'm sorry, I said it. Great movie, by the way. I don't need that. I'm sorry, but
I get it. I agree. I agree 100%. I
it,
think that the explanation just adds to more to the confusion.
yes, too much confusion.
Yeah,
Yes,
because
yes,
it's like
absolutely.
I think the general audience will go to see the Batman and realize, oh, so this is a Batman that Superman and the other ones don't exist in. Okay, we get it
Yeah,
because we've seen Nolan's whatever, we've seen the ones prior to that. It's just like we
mm,
get it. They don't exist. That's a whole different world. I got you.
yeah,
We're on board. You know what I mean? I think
yeah.
the general going audience is smart enough to figure that shit out without having to be spoon fed a reason that is more asinine, really. It's
Yeah.
like it doesn't even. Anyway,
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. It's like, let's say, for example,
Mhm.
um, we had a we had a fantastic Joker's movie. I don't think I care to see him playing the role again. I'm talking about Mr.
Joaquin
Phoenix,
Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix, in a Batman movie, in a new Batman movie, just because, well, he's the Joker. Obviously, he's in that universe, right? What is a Joker without the Batman? I'm okay with it being like mentally implied, like leaving that portion to the imagination. I'm kind of okay rather than seeing Robert Pattinson. And, oh, by the way, Joker is gonna be played by Joaquin Phoenix because that is, because it makes sense because that movie was so successful, and it's almost like kind of like
It's
using
pandering.
that movie.
It's
Yeah,
in the end, it's pandering.
pandering.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't care. I don't think I care about. Not to say that that there have been any rumors or anything like that. I mean, the whole premise sounds ridiculous in my head, but just like a lot of things that sound ridiculous and yet end up happening,
Mhm.
like I'm not sure, I don't think I'll be okay with that. You know, I
I
don't know
agree.
about you, but
I honestly, well, I don't want it to happen just for the sake of happening.
right.
Um, if I am all on board with if you have truly thought this out, like for
Mm,
instance, Nolan is well known for not wanting to do the Dark Knight. He was done with Batman Begins.
mm.
He was like, "We're not launching anything. I'm just doing
This
the
was a
film because
story.
I have
Yeah.
been presented a script and I think it looks good." And David Goyer and his whatever, they're all involved and they all do well, right?
Mm,
Um, it wasn't until the Dark Knight script got presented to him where he read it and said, "Oh, I think this can work." You know what I
yeah.
mean? And that type of electric feeling is like that's the type of thing you go, okay, they're not doing this for money. They're not doing this because they're being asked to. They're doing it because,
Mm,
whoa, this story works. You know what I mean?
yeah. It makes
So
sense. It
exactly.
makes
And
sense.
so
There's a good dynamic here. Yeah.
correct. And so if we get to the point where Matt Reeves goes and looks at, the updated script and says, "Ooh, Joaquin Phoenix is involved. Ooh, the Joker's involved. Ooh, the story makes sense to include in this particular unit because we already know that Joaquin Phoenix Joker exists outside of the DCEU. It's got its
Mm,
own thing. And now we know that the Batman is also, so it's possible they may exist together, but only if it makes sense and you have a really well developed and thought out story,
yeah.
will that make sense? So I would welcome it in that case. Outside of that, no, just leave it in its own. It doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
If you had an original vision, don't try to shoehorn something in to link worlds together. You know what I mean? It's like, no,
Yeah.
go with what you had. And that's what, that's what ends up happening
I just
sometimes.
wish they would take more risk. Again, after going through just year one of the Injustice series, I'm like thinking like, man, that will make for
There's so many good stories, dude. There's
there's
so many
they
good
could
stories,
so
which
take from there.
let me tell you, I will point out, and I'm not going to stay on this, but I want to point out some more particular issues that you would want to look at, just so you can see how Batman exists within the Justice League. It's very difficult to imagine. And I think that that's what's lost within these people. Is like, well, he's human. We can't include him in this stuff. I mean, it's like you forget his one power that none of the other ones have, and that is he is the world's greatest detective. He is 5-6 steps ahead of everyone. He has 8 plans for every move. So when you look at it that way, it's like, okay, I get it. He can't stand in a fight, but he doesn't have to. That's his superpower. He figures out how to beat you without having to fight you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that alone is amazing in these comics. And it's just got missed. So we'll point a few out, you know, at some point I'll point a few out for you so you can see, and you will get frustrated with freaking Ben Affleck's Batman, because you just go, God, he's just wasted in his movie. And it's like, why are you not using him? You know what I mean? But it is what it is. I'm not going.
Send me put a list together of the finest selections.
For sure.
Yeah, that's I don't.
No more? Okay, all right. So, sorry, I was taking a sip of my beer. All right, guys.
I can come if you need a break to finish your beer. I can talk about Genshin Impact coming to PS5 with enhanced visuals, but I don't think that's news to anyone. So, and you still
I'm a little intrigued. I'm not gonna lie. But,
really? Okay.
I mean, it's free and it's coming to PS5. Why not?
And
let's be real.
It's a GG. Yeah.
It's a GG.
Oh. Fast loading and DualSense controller support. That could be exciting.
Ooh, okay. Haptic feedback. Like it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, beeps. Well, hold on. We'll be right back with our hot topic.
Hot topic.
All right, guys. We are back with our hot topic of the week.
Hot topic.
Hot topic again, guys, is how important is game preservation to the gamer, and of course to just in general the industry, as far as keeping these games
for history.
Yeah.
Sake, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, isn't there like a Smithsonian museum that includes, or there's a museum?
No, there are several. And those are the things that at least I can appreciate that they do exist. They have, like in Hong Kong, I think they have the Hong Kong Game Association.
Okay.
They have the Game Preservation Society is another one. The Strong Institute. Even the Internet Archive has it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I've heard of a few of those. Funny that you mentioned them. Going, oh wait, I think I heard that name.
Yeah. They exist. So you know, for example, that they like Flash is no longer supported. Flash, the browser extra thing that you had to access websites, that it had a long life since the 90s.
And you had games created in Flash.
Yeah, you had a lot of games created in Flash. Exactly. Because it was easy to program, and it was something that you could deliver through a browser. The problem is that it became so insecure that at some point it was just no longer, like, companies decided to just abandon, like, you know, Microsoft and all the other browsers.
Yeah, correct.
So, but then that brings the question, like, okay, so what's going to happen with all those Flash games? A lot of them are part of that gaming history, that internet history. You know, what's going to happen with all of those?
Who's keeping them? That's the whole deal. It's like who's actually preserving them? Who's making sure that they exist, even if it's only available at, you know, Museum A. You know what I mean? It's like, well, at least they have a place. There's someone there still holding on to them to say, hey, these existed. And these were the early, you know, games you can get via Flash. I agree. I forgot about that. We actually went to a museum recently. It was you, me, and oh my god,
Jason,
yeah, and Nelson. We went out
Oh,
there,
yeah.
and yeah. So it's cool when you see a lot of, and I think if I'm not mistaken, it had a lot of the ET stuff. Remember the ET game?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
actual cartridges, or several copies of the cartridges that were found
That were dug
on
up. Yeah,
on that landfill, where
yeah.
everybody thought it was a myth until it was proven that, oh no,
The
this
dude, I
actually
would have
happened.
bet money it was a myth. It's like this is a myth. Nobody
It just
does
sounded
this,
like, yeah,
So
it
good
sounded
too.
so
Yeah,
fake.
yeah. So yeah, so the hot topic again, guys. That's what it is. We're looking to see, as well, what triggered this, I guess, is important. And I have an article that we've sort of saved regarding it. So I'm just going to read it here. It's actually from Polygon, and it is Sony confirmed on Monday that PlayStation Store access for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, and PlayStation Portable will end this summer. PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita stores will end on on August 27th, and PSP remaining purchase functions will end on July 2nd. PlayStation 3, Vita, and PlayStation Portable owners will be able to re-download and play any games they've purchased through the store. Users can still redeem vouchers, voucher codes for games, and PlayStation Plus as well. Additionally, multi-platform cross-buy purchases are still possible, meaning users can still buy content made available on both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3, Vita, and PSP, and can still access their content by way of download lists on their respective device. Sony also specified that these store closures will not affect any users of PlayStation Now subscription and their access to PlayStation 3 or PlayStation Vita titles they claim through their PlayStation Plus subscription. Those may still be re-downloaded as long as their PlayStation subscription obviously is still current. PlayStation Plus last month of PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita titles was actually back on February of 2019. So they haven't released anything new on those consoles via the membership for over 2 years now. But all new purchases are now over. This goes for buying any new game or video game content, as well as in-game purchases on PlayStation 3, Vita, or PSP. As a result, players can no longer redeem gift cards through these devices either. So any money still in a user's PlayStation Network wallet can be used only to buy content for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 going forward. I'm gonna end it there as far as the article goes, but as you can see, for the most part, it's just basically a drawing of a line in the sand at this point. And there are a lot of content that is walled off behind these stores that, once they're gone, unless you've purchased them and you have obviously a console to play them on, they're not going to be available to you anymore. What are your thoughts on that, sir? Yeah.
I will argue that even after you purchase them, the wording on a lot of these EULAs, that you have to agree if you want to use the service.
User license agreement.
Yeah, it is that the access could be revoked. This is not something that you own and they get to keep forever. That at some point, for whatever reason, they have the right to revoke access. And that goes along with the fact that what you're actually buying is a license to use, not necessarily the game to keep and call your own.
Yeah.
Now, consoles have come and go, right? We have had multiple generations already, and people might be wondering, well, so how is this different? If that there wasn't an outcry when Nintendo stopped making I don't know, GameCubes or whatever, there is a
yeah.
No, I was going to say
Yeah.
there is a major difference, in which case is that we're not talking about the stopping creating PlayStation 2s or GameCubes or whatnot, or PlayStation 3s for that matter. That happened already. Those machines are not are not manufactured anymore. That's not the problem. The problem that we're having is that uh, the digital versions of games that you had one that once you had access, now maybe not directly because you didn't purchase them, but even just the fact that they're there for you to purchase are not longer going to be there. And what happens to those games where there was no disc version,
Yeah.
and also no ported, not ported version to another um
Console.
to another
Yeah,
console.
or yeah,
The
another
the
ecosystem.
next iteration of
Hmm.
the console. I'm thinking suddenly my mind is full of image of that. Remember that game that was pretty much just a Google map of some cities.
Oh
Tokyo was in there, for
yeah,
example,
yeah. I remember you what it was. It was something
and
man or something last man or
yeah, The Last
yeah,
Man. I want to say it was called The Last Man, but it's
yeah.
basically you were rescuing people from buildings, and,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's a very simple game, incredibly fun. Uh, and I don't remember seeing that on anything else,
Yeah,
out
PlayStation
there.
3. It was the last
PlayStation 3.
console. It was a downloadable game for the
Hmm.
a Tokyo oh god, there was another one came out the same right at the same time and I was just like, "Oh, this is kind of interesting." Tokyo Jungle. I think it was what it's
Tokyo
called.
Jungle. Yep, yep. The one
Where
with the
you
dog.
yes, yes, yeah, you were
Yep.
the stray dogs surviving in a post-apocalyptic Tokyo or something like
Tokyo.
that.
Yes.
Just some random and it was fun. It was an
They were incredibly
interesting
fun.
yeah, it was like it was definitely a survivor game. So,
Yeah.
you if you die, you'd have to you start a whole new breed essentially. It was almost roguelike, but it was original in that and you're right, that does exist only there.
There
You're
was a
you
lot of gems like that
mhm.
that you look at it now, and it's like, well, has Sony made a plan of what to do, how to access this game? I mean, because correct me if I'm wrong, but or clarify this for me better. Does PlayStation Now gives you access to the entire library of PS3 titles?
No.
Okay,
No, it does not.
so that's
Like for
problematic.
instance, you can do there's certain like for instance, you can do the collection. No, not the collection. The oh god, Uncharted.
Streaming? Oh,
The
okay.
Uncharted games. You can do like certain one of those, but not all of them.
Oh,
And then
wow.
you have yeah, it's weird. And then you have there was another one. Yeah, no, it's not 100%. It's really based on popularity. Essentially,
Hmm.
they're like, if it's popular enough, then we're going to make it available for streaming. If it's not
Hmm.
popular, then
But you're
no.
gonna let it
So
die.
yeah, exactly. And the problem with the PlayStation 3 games on PlayStation Now is that they're only available for streaming, as opposed to PlayStation 4, which you can download and
Right.
and some PlayStation 2 games. So you're stuck to streaming those only.
Yeah,
But no, not
and those
everything is available
streaming
there.
that streaming is th- that the processing basically of those games is actually happening on PlayStation, on custom PlayStation 3 hardware that they have, kind of like in Severblade
Yeah.
side things.
Hmm.
It's not something that you can just go in and buy. And if it doesn't have the whole catalog, then that's problematic. I mean, I was thinking even problematic the fact that it's only available to stream, as a streaming thing, because that's not. I mean, I would rather have that. Don't get me wrong, because I feel like that will be a sort of preservation. But my only concern with that is that those are servers that at some point, you know, they could just decide to, like, they're not giving this to a museum to preserve, right? At some point,
No, yeah.
access will be eliminated. When PlayStation Now is no longer a viable service. Um, the it, I see that side, and then I see Microsoft side, and Microsoft side. I don't think this is out of the kindness of the heart. Obviously, they have a very money decision to do this, but at least they still see value on keeping that keeping allowing you to have access to library of original titles, dude, all the way to fucking the original OG Xbox
Mm-hmm.
or whatever you want to call it. And again, not thinking they might try to portray it that way, but as a corporation, I don't think these corporations do it out of the kindness of their heart when they do stuff like that. I just
No.
think
Yeah.
I'd rather still have have that. And yes, I understand. In Sony's in Sony's defense, it'll be a lot more difficult for them to achieve something like that because their architecture has changed substantially. So much, but it's not impossible. Right
It's
now,
not. It requires them to do a lot of rewiring. And here's the deal. I feel like if it must be hard. It either must be hard or it must be costly or both. Because if it's hard, it's costly. So something is up that they're not able to get those games to work natively on a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. Because if they did, then they would just do it.
I don't think it's
Although,
either though because it has been the community has proven already. Like there is PlayStation 3 is already emulated, and you don't need to have a
yes,
mega computer to run it.
but
And
it's
the
not
PlayStation
100%.
5 is no.
Yeah,
Of
it's
course
yeah.
not. But if people that don't have access to the code has been able to reverse engineer it and make it a proper thing, maybe work with them. You have the source code. You know how the cell processor works. Hell, you can give it the diagrams and all the information for them to perfect it if you don't want to take it upon yourself to do it. You know that even though Microsoft didn't have to handle a beast like the cell processor, but you know that there's some emulation and a lot of emulation, at least to make the Xbox One games run, and you've seen it to where they just don't say, well, he's backward compatible. In a lot of those cases, it's enhanced somehow because they have the opportunity to do so. Uh, Sony can do the same thing.
They
There's
could, but it comes back to the costs, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We when we compare the two, we know Microsoft. I don't want to say has unlimited funds, but it appears like they have
They have the
unlimited
deeper
funds.
pockets,
Yeah,
no
they have
doubt. Yeah,
extremely deeper pockets, which is
yeah,
why they're able to take losses upon losses. Sony's not. That's not the case with Sony. You know what I'm saying? They have money, but they don't have unlimited funds or deep pockets the way that Microsoft does. So it's one of those things where we already know that the main, I can't remember his name, but the main guy of Sony has voiced it a lot when it comes to backwards compatibility when he says no one wants to play these games. No one wants to play the original Gran Turismo. You know what I
right,
mean? And
right.
I don't 100% disagree with him because I'm like, you're right. I mean, maybe for 10 minutes, you know what I mean? Just to say, man, can you believe these graphics? Outside of that, is someone going to play longer on those games? Probably not. So he's not
Right.
wrong, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't be preserved. But I think that literally paints the just the angle that they're coming from when it comes to this type of thing. And I don't know if they even care. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. Part of me, I don't want to call myself a fanboy because I hate that fucking term, but I, that I exist for the most part in the PlayStation ecosystem. I am open to other ones. As for instance, I have a Switch, and I am open to getting an Xbox Series S for now because the games that it's going to be my Game Pass machine. But for the most part, that's really it. So I kind of live in this ecosystem. So I look at that and I look at what he says, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't disagree. I feel that I'm not gonna go back to those games. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I still think they need to be preserved. I think someone should do the preserving, or someone should do the emulating or something to keep them going. But do you think that perhaps Sony is saying we're going to pull this plug? We're going to get they already have emulators going, and for PlayStation 3, and maybe by pulling the plug, we can see what they do and we can use them to figure something out. Do you think that that's even possible? That may be the plan.
If
As highly unlikely as it is, but maybe the plan is to look. We're pulling the plug. Let the other one figure out. When they figure it out, guess what? We don't have to. We don't have to do the R&D behind figuring it out. They've done it for us, and then we could just pay them to sort of get that over to us. What do you
is
think?
it is it possible? Yes. Is it a plan? I don't think so. I think, I mean, you've said it very well. I don't think Sony is not in the business of game preservation. They're just in the business of selling consoles and selling games. Uh, yes, preservations may sound like a very noble thing. Again, Microsoft is doing it because it can and it's easy for them, not because they have they have a calling that it needs to be done. Because if it was just as hard to do, for them as it is for Sony, they wouldn't be fucking doing it either. Because again, these companies are like, that's not their business. If anything, they see that as a threat, because
Correct. I agree. Yeah.
they see that as,
Yeah.
well, if they're playing the old games, then that's less opportunity, there's the one less person playing a new game. If anything, that's a thought. um I think that if Sony wanted to work on that, I think the or if Sony wanted to allow third party uh fans or preservationists or historians to maintain that ecosystem alive in some way, then they would have allowed them already. They would have made the cell processor open source, because that's the way that you actually
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
make it open.
Yeah.
Allow them to really hone in that emulation system. You open source. The problem is, they will never do that, because that could potentially hurt their business. Because even though some of those games, imagine if suddenly someone's able to have full access on, make their own PlayStation 3. Well, granted, they might not be it's not like it's gonna be a direct, like a hyper compensation to Sony, but
Something
games
similar.
that
Yeah.
they can create games that then Sony wouldn't be able to remaster. uh, they can actually improve on the architecture also, because suddenly you have the collective mind of hackers and people in the know that could actually uh, again take away from the opportunity to Sony to maybe in the future offer this game the remaster version at a cost.
Yeah.
So it
That's I
doesn't make
think
it doesn't make
yeah.
sense for them to do it with that.
I can agree
Maybe
with that.
maybe with PlayStation 1, but PlayStation 1, like, there's emulators out there for anything. Like, anything runs a PlayStation 1 emulator nowadays. Your phone, actually, you can download an emulator on it because it's Android based. You can download and you can
Yeah,
get,
and there's plenty of them available too, which is
yeah.
I mean, as much as I get it, it's in a way sort of pirating or very pirating,
Oh, it is.
whatever
It is
they're doing.
purely. If you don't have permission from the copyright holder, it is pirating.
So,
That,
well,
that's the
in that
problem with
case,
preservation. That
yeah.
it's still being seen as pirating.
So I think that there's a question that has to come to this where if like for instance there are so I was so the article that you had shared earlier on in the week um regarding it, there's several games that are essentially locked behind these particular stores that are being
Mhm.
closed, and some major ones, right? Arc the Lad, Chrono Cross. There was the Mega Man Legends game, which or whatever, Parasite Eve, Parasite Eve 2, I love Parasite Eve for the record. And I'm thinking about it now. I'm going, oh my God, it's gone. You know, it's like, that's it. It doesn't exist anywhere else. I don't have any other way of doing it. And I can't play that game on my PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. You know, it's just like, it's gone forever. You know, Vagrant Story. I love Vagrant Story. As challenging, as mind freaking hard as that game is, I loved it. You know what I mean? And it's just like, these games are forever locked, dude. And it's so
I
when
feel
you
like
look
we
at
need to clarify because I almost hear a lot of people asking, well, what happens? I mean, what if I just downloaded that? What if I own that already on my PlayStation 3? I just don't sell my PlayStation 3 and keep it. But A, your
yeah, yeah,
PlayStation can break.
yeah,
And B, some games, if they don't have access to the server, even if you own it on your console, they're not gonna play.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Just want to
Absolutely.
clarify that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So if it's obviously the majority of single player games are, and this is Sony saying that they're keeping that going. All right.
Mhm.
So we're going on their word that that's what they're doing. We don't, you know, at some, we can say that now, and in 5 years, guys, this server farm that we're keeping is not, it's not viable and whatever. So yeah, those games that we said you're going to be there, they're probably going to be there anymore. You know, keep them downloaded. Like if it's PT, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because that's the only way of doing it. Yeah, I agree. It is important to understand that. Yeah, they're available according to them for a certain amount of time, but they're only available there. And if your PlayStation 3 breaks down, you need to get another one or fix your current PlayStation 3.
Fix it, 'cause, yeah.
And that's not easy to do because it's proprietary technology. You know, sure, you have people who can figure that shit out, but you're paying a lot of money to keep that going. Does that need to be it so you can play, you know, Dragon Card 3? You know, like, is that really or should Dragon Card 3 just be available via backwards compatibility? You know, it's a difficult thing. But so my question is, or rather, not my question, but my statement is to say that, you know, at some point you have to look at this and go, is it that bad of a thing if there's no other way of obtaining this game legally? Like, I'm willing to pay for it, but you're not willing to sell it to me. You know what I'm saying? The line suddenly gets a little blurry. First of all, I want to say this up front. GG, Dream Twister, myself, Chaos, and everybody else, we do not in any way endorse pirating. However, when the walls are built up around you and you're just trying to access the game by any legal means necessary, and you're not because they're gone, then at some point you have to almost say, well, maybe it's not such a bad thing if I find another way around it. You know what I mean? And I suddenly get this game on some sort of emulator. And I think that really, you know, it really opens up the conversation on, is this such a bad thing? It's one thing to say, you know, the game just came out and whatever, but I'm not paying for it and I'm gonna fucking pirate it. Yeah, that's stupid and really narrow-minded, and you're not thinking of the developer. And much as a lot of these people who do that go, oh man, these guys are great with making this game. Well, you're not giving them money, so your opinion matters not to them, you know, and not to anyone else. Because hello, in order for them to move on to the next game, they need the money from this one. So
you would think it would not be such a bad thing when you don't have the option to, well, like, there's no way to obtain it legally. It pretty much feels like it's abandonware at this point, right?
you would think that.
I should be able to somehow, you know, emulate it in some way to get it to, you know, to get it to work, to preserve it in the name of preservation, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you would think that's actually, you know, very noble or logical, actually, or, you know, you can react that way. But let me introduce you to the fucktards of the United States Congress that passed in 1998 a little something called the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. Yes, that's right. The goddamn DMCA. the one of the worst things that the United States have created, which pretty much aligns with the doctrine of, hey, if it's copywritten, it is illegal to copy it. No exceptions. No exceptions. If you can't buy it, then it's not available to you. Well, that was actually, for the longest time, that was the case, and it was terrible. I mean, at that point they made it a law. It was illegal. It was illegal to do exactly what you described, which is, I don't have any other method of game. Let me emulate it. Well, nope. Well, now, as recently as 2015, actually, is when they started doing exceptions. Well, actually, that's not true. There was an exception made in 2003 that allowed computer programs that were protected by dongles and things that you had to like connect to your computer on the back. Because I don't know if you know, but that was the early form of DRM in PC games. Was, hey, you bought the game and it had like a thing that you connected to the serial port of the back of your computer, and without it, you couldn't play the game. Well, those things break, right? Obviously. So sometimes you will own the game, but you don't have the dongle. So in 2003, they allowed an exception to circumvent that. Because the idea is you couldn't circumvent copyright thing at all in any way whatsoever. 2015 came in, and the library granted permission for preservationists to work around copyright games, which require authentication steps with an external server. Now, that's basically talking about single player games that require authentication with an external server. That's not including MMOs, though, because in MMOs you're not just authenticating, you're actually playing in that server, in that game world that the server creates. That didn't happen until 2018 to allow for MMOs, and only to be it needs to be legally obtained. So you have to have the permission, and mostly run within museums and libraries. So we still have draconian ass laws that they might call them, well, the digital millennium. Like, they try to make it sound so futuristic, but it's draconian as fuck, because they do not understand the simple concept of being able of fair use, being able to copy for the purpose of preserving, because they see all that shit as pirating. And where there is an opportunity, where they think that there's an opportunity in the future to maybe make money of it, these companies, they're not gonna care about the preservation of games, because it's not on their best interest. At the end of the day, it's not in the best interest of Nintendo or Sony or Microsoft to preserve these games. The ones that have done so, because they have a way of monetizing it somehow, whether it's they call it Game Pass or they call it whatever you want. If they can charge for it, that's the only way they see, oh, okay, preservation, matters.
In some ways, that almost is, it's almost smart in a way, as a business.
That's a business,
as the Sony is doing. It's like, look, we're trimming the fat here when it comes to what we need to maintain, because the future of the company is going forward. It's moving forward. It's bringing the next best thing, and that next best thing selling as much as possible. So in some ways, it makes sense as a company, but it does shut off a lot of games that can be gone. And also, by the way, this announcement is also, detrimental to a lot of developers right now. So believe it or not, well, first off, the PlayStation portable store and even the PlayStation 3 store, I can understand that to an extent. No one's making games for those particular consoles. So I get it. You know, it's like, okay, I can see why you would not, to an extent, I can see that.
I would
There are
argue that
still
some people were making money though.
making money, sure, but they're not releasing something.
No, they just
That's not the
making money
case for
whatever
PlayStation
out
Vita.
there.
PlayStation Vita, as much as many people feel like it's not, whatever, there are still people making games for PlayStation Vita who
Oh,
are
wow.
just finding out that, hey, guess what? The store is closing. You know what I'm saying? It's like
closed.
we haven't even released our game yet. You know, it's like that is
Now what?
yeah. It's like what are you doing? So a lot. I have to look at that and go. I wonder. So first off, as you know, that this story was sort of leaked or rumored at some point last week, because we actually brought it up last week,
Mm,
and it wasn't actually confirmed till this week when Sony made the announcement.
yeah.
So, part of me is like, well, is this that leak forcing their hand, or did they have a plan to do something, and we just, because of the leak, they're saying, all right, yeah, we're not going to do that. But hey, we have a plan for some sort of Game Pass. Is that even something? Not Game Pass, but it's something similar where these things will be available there if you want them. I don't think so. There's my point to bring up is that there's plenty of conversation about that. This is the announcement's kind of forcing their hand. They were ready. They're probably saving it for E3, or the window of what E3 would be, and saying, "Hey, we have our own version of whatever." I don't think that's the case. I think that it's clear Sony has made their stance when it comes to backwards compatibility. They're about looking forward, not looking backwards. They've said that actually now for a good couple of years, and I think they closed the shop and essentially screwed some developers who are looking to release games for the PlayStation 4 and not even thinking about it. You know what I mean? It's almost like Warner Brothers when they decided to say, hey, we're going to be on these movies to HBO Max, but never actually discussed that with any of the movie companies, to say, hey, by the way, guys, we're not going to the theater on this. I feel like this is the exact same move, not prepared in any way, and in many ways just cutting off a limb, you know what I mean, and just saying it is what it is. We're moving on without that limb, and we're gonna lose. I put it in the post. So many games. Really, really think about old games that you can remember. Just think of an old game that you can remember and then think about, how do I access that game now? Think of a game. I'm thinking of, when it comes to mind, I'm thinking of several NES games, because I had so many NES games, but I had several NES games. I can't even think of the name now. One of them is, I couldn't even pronounce it. It's spelled XEXYZ. That's the way
XEXYZ.
That's the name, yeah. And if you can pronounce it, more power to you. But this was
Sexist.
this was an NES game that an NES game that a friend told me about at the time back in high school, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. And I found it, bought it, loved it. Never heard from it again. Nowhere to be found. Can you find that game now? It's just the whole deal. If you think about it right now, of an old game that you remember loving and playing, can you find it now? And if you can't, is that a problem? Is that an issue? Does that mean it should have been preserved, or are you one of the 10 people who played it? You know what I mean? So, do you have anything like that? Can you think of any game that sits in your history?
I think that I can remember of the top of my head. Yeah, that's probably. I mean, the games that I could conjure, there's probably ways that I could get it to either emulation or some other means. The problem with emulation is that you're technically not supposed to download ROMs,
Yeah.
or not technically not supposed to. let's be more clear. You're not supposed to download ROM. That is pirating. That is still that is still an issue. It exists, yes, and they are, and there's the argument that yes, these games are preserved, and at some point they will probably fall onto public domain, and by that time it's all fair game, right? But right now,
Until that, yeah,
even
until then,
fucking yeah, if you wanted to play sexist or freaking whatever is a gyromite or anything like that, um it's it's illegal. It's possible. It's available. The means are there. You know, uh, probably downloading a ROM won't land you in jail, even though the language says it does. But
it can. Yeah.
but distributing those certainly can. Look at what Nintendo did to that website that distributed a bunch of ROM. Actually, I think it just directed people to where to download. They didn't host the ROMs, but they was still found
It was
guilty
enough. Yep,
It
it
was
was
still
enough.
was enough to get them.
Mhm.
So, oh my God, you sent me a thing of
I did. I
what
had so you can see it. So you can
sexy.
see the
I just
game
saw
exists.
the game. Yes, there's now you're gonna now it's gonna be in the show now. uh,
For sure.
the other way of going around it is, hey, most of these games that are gonna be the games that are being released today, right? At
Mhm.
some point, that support is gonna be over, right?
Yep.
Hey, release a version on PC. And this is not a fanboy statement,
Mhm.
but the emulation scene, it's happening on PC. The preservation portion is happening on computers, whether it's PC or Macs or whatever. you know the really old ass games that I could go back to if I ever wanted to, like fucking Ease, um spelled YS. And I'm trying to look for the oldest games, probably Half-Life 2, but I'm sure that I have something that is old. Oh, the Chrono Trigger is here. It's like all those
Chrono
games.
Trigger has moved over to PlayStation 4, so that actually, in
No,
many
I'm thinking, but you know why, right? Because they were able to monetize it. That game was worth
yeah.
re-releasing because they were able to monetize it.
Yeah.
But uh the multiplayer for Half-Life 2, for example, that exists still. you know so what I'm trying to say is that if you want to keep monetizing those, really, like, I'm thinking of that Tokyo game. Shit, I was playing Shatter the other day. Shatter is a PlayStation 3 exclusive, but you can also play that on PC. And that game is fucking phenomenal when you think about what that game is. It is what it tries to be, and all that it has. The music of that game is legendary. Hey, it's not in PS4. It's not on PS5. It's not gonna be there, anymore. But there's a perfect copy that I can buy, that I can literally go on Steam now and buy. And
Mhm.
that's what developers should start considering. It's like, develop your games for the console, or your console of choice or whatnot, and have a version available that is that is available for when those consoles are no
Or no
longer
longer. Yeah,
viable.
I agree. I can agree with that that method. And at that point, it doesn't cost much when you do it at the same time, as opposed
Right.
to later on when it's no longer, financially viable, and you suddenly,
Hmm.
yeah, well, we're only gonna, it's going to cost more now to try to bring it over. So, well, if you did it at the same time, maybe it wouldn't have.
Now it's easier than ever because
Yeah,
all
all
the
the
consoles and the
architectures are the same.
PC, they
Yeah.
share the same
Yeah.
architecture. So
I think that would be the way to go, and and you know what? In many ways, you can also point to Sony going, well, they did that, but they also are open to bringing even first party over to PC to say, here you go, it's
mhm.
there. and in many ways that solidifies its existence going
Yeah,
forward.
that makes some money.
Yeah, and on top of that, yeah, exactly. So yeah, so hopefully that would be the case. It's just a shame that these. I mean, obviously the PlayStation Portable. If you're still with a PlayStation Portable, God bless you. It's just like I can't believe you're still using that thing. And PlayStation 3, even still, dude. Do you remember the PlayStation 3 store? Dear Lord, that thing was falling apart by the time we left PlayStation 3. And I can only imagine now, 8 years later, it's crawling to even get to letter A on your
I think
search. You know what I mean?
I think the major concern is because PlayStation 3 are consoles that still work for a lot of people,
They are.
and I think the concern is not so much being able to purchase more games on it, but being able to play the games that you already own. Because again, once those servers are gone, where's the authentication happening? And there's no authentication. The next time that for X or Y reason you need to delete it to make space, or it gets corrupted, or you need to reset or fix or
According
whatever.
to them, that those are going to be available for re-download. So this is literally
Okay.
part of their post. So hopefully they stick to what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's the question mark.
Yeah.
Will they? And maybe they stick for it now. Will they forever stick with it? That's the other question mark. So,
Yeah.
but all right. Well, if there's nothing else, I think that brings us to the end of an awesome episode 257.
Woo!
My God, dude, we're there. We're on our way to 300, bro. What are we doing for 300?
And you thought, oh well, the way it's already being planned, right? We're going to Chaos House, and we're recording
nice.
from
Live from Chaos.
That's
Casa de
what's
Chaos.
happening. Yeah, that's what. And
I
we're
like
gonna
it.
have all four of us are gonna be. It's gonna be Chaos. It's gonna be Mrs. Reaper. It's gonna be you and I. And fuck it,
Dark. We gotta have Dark
bring,
there.
We'll
We
bring
have to have
Dark, of
Dark
course.
there,
Eh?
yeah.
If we could all, you know what? If we could only have all the people that have been part of it at some point.
Oh my
Like,
God.
to
Yeah.
have fucking
Nelson
Doomsday. I would
and
love to have
Chacrod
Doomsday again.
and freaking
I'll have to have Chakra,
Shadow.
Shadow again. Dude, that would be
That would be a
that would be
dream,
epic.
bro. Let me tell you,
That would
I
be an
would
epic
I
show.
would literally say, guys, I never thought I'd say this line, but I would like, guys, kill me right now. 'Cause this is essentially it.
We
It's
can
not gonna get better than this.
yes.
So
Not gonna get better. GG is over at this point. It's like we're done. We're not gonna have a better episode. I mean, we had it. We had remember 100.
I do.
100 was the
I do.
closest thing that we had to it. And as you can see, it has gone all downhill from there. So
200 was our episode here at my house, and it was just us three. But it was outside. I think we had a great time. We barbecued.
I think it was just as cold as it is right now.
I think it was colder.
Yes.
But yeah. So yeah, it worked out for the most part. But yeah, I would want to have some big thing, and you know what? We're gonna start. I want to start planning that bad boy because the pandemic is coming to an end, people, and we need to have a little shindig to celebrate that.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I like it. All right, guys. Well, again, that brings us to the end. Please, if you haven't already, go to goodgame.rocks, join the conversation there, and of course, like, subscribe, share the podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off for this week, saying, guys, get the vaccine, make it happen. We can't come to the end unless we all come to the end together. And we can only do that by vaccinating. So I'm just saying I'm going to get my vaccine. My wife is going to get my son. And we all need to do it. The sooner we do it and the sooner we accept it, we're going to be okay again. And I honestly, I literally get misty-eyed thinking about the fact that, oh my God, this time that we've been stuck in may actually come to an end, because I was, on the fence a little bit. I was like, we're screwed for the rest of our lives.
It's not the apocalypse yet.
No, not yet. Mr. Santos, take us home.
I'm going to propose probably one of the most existential questions that I propose on the show now. and I'm gonna leave it with the question. And that question is: does anybody want to join me in playing some Outriders? Because
Where?
I need to know.
Where? We need to hear where.
Well, it'll depend on who calls, who heeds my question and responds. If it's a PC gamer, then I'll go PC. If it's a PS5, then I go PS5. But I just need to know: should we be playing this?
Did you play? Did you ever get a chance to play a demo?
No, and to be honest, even the reviews that I'm seeing, like, it's nothing has shown it's like spectacular. I don't even know why my ass wants to even try this, but I'm gonna try the demo. At the very least, I'm gonna try the demo and see how it feels, and I'll just take it from there.
I agree, because at that point you see it, and I told you I did play the demo, and I sidebar real quick. I know we're ending and everything, but
Yeah.
I did play the demo, and I did say that it was the story was fascinating to me. I enjoyed the way it was being delivered. It had some rough edges, but it was also a demo, so it wasn't like the actual finished product. And I'm hearing a lot of good things, believe it or not, a lot of good things about it. So realistically,
I heard that it gets better. Yeah, I heard that it, actually that the demo leaves like almost like it opens, like it gives a bad impression actually. But that's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking. It's like, okay, well, okay.
I would try the demo. Try the demo and realize that it's just a demo, right? So it's not, written in stone, and then go from there. I
might do that just now. Actually, I might do that tonight.
Okay, good. I'm gonna do some Disco Elysium because that's where I'm going.
Well, fine, go dance your disco at the Elysium.
Will do.
Like that sounds like an Elysium. Oh, maybe that's one. That sounds like a club. Disco at the Elysium.
I like that. That's true.
That's what you
All right, guys. With that, we'll see you next week.
GG!